Latest gaming news, hot topics, and more. With guest Triple Cup Chuck, Livewires Gaming, 108 Dragons TV, Bloody Knuckles, Operations Op, 100. Live. And your host, K Mega 405. The GRG podcast
starts right now.
What's up, everybody? The GRG podcast is live. What's happening? I don't know. Waiting on Thrash to come in here. Sent them the invite. He's saying he's having some issues. I don't know why. Let's see what he's saying right now. He's saying send it to something else. I will try to send it there to try to get him on. Let's see. But other than that, man, let's go ahead and get with the introductions. You know what I'm saying? Because he was working off of Discord. I have Discord, but I always preferred Hangouts. Even though Discord has gotten a lot better, especially with the sound quality, but I just prefer Hangouts. But I get it. There's a lot of people that still don't have Hangouts, but I'm also hearing that Hangouts is going to come back for free again. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to play out or whatever. But regardless, man, let's get to everybody on the panel before we get to. While I'm trying to go ahead and get to this, let me go ahead and get to my man 100. What's up with you, bros? Listen to your show the other night on Ghost Rider's channel, man. What's happening? Y'all had a lot to say. Mm-hmm. Nice. Nice. All right. Also, man, let's get on to it. PK Live, what's happening with you, bro? Let me say it. Okay. Somebody else. Oh, that's why. That's why. Okay, my bad. 100. Go ahead and say what you had to say again. My bad. I hit the wrong button.
Man, what's up with everybody?
There we
Your
go.
boy,
My bad.
in your house. Man, here on Friday, just got off work, having my first cocktail. Just ready to talk about some gaming topics. I'm trying to snap today, and we just gonna chill. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's get with it. All right. PK, what's up with you, bro? What's happening?
Happy Friday, family and friends. Just glad to be here. We're playing some games. I did also beat Minecraft Dungeons, and I got Mortal Kombat this week. It was a good deal. So I'm trying to train myself up and get ready so I can put my hands on some people in this party.
Oh, Lord. Hey, where did that come from? I got you. All right. Operations Op, what's up with you, fam? What's going on, man?
Yo, man, nothing much. Just chilling over here doing the usual. I've been grinding on Standard K2, Injustice 2, and what else? I played a little bit of Minecraft Dungeons. I think I'm like halfway through it. So far, it's good. Like, don't really have any issues with it, though. I will say, like, a nitpick was I'm not a fan of how, like, the gear and weapons are randomized when you go to the merchants and buy them. I'll prefer to, like, pick what I want to get from it and not just, like, leave it a chance. But, like, other than that, it's pretty solid. Just you got to find someone to play with it to make it a little bit better.
Nice. Okay, cool. Everybody's on that Minecraft. All right. I'll tell you guys what I'm playing after. And moving on down the line, Bloody Knuckles, what's up with you, fam?
What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's been doing good. You know, I've took the week off from streams like everyone usually knows I'd be doing. So I've been doing a lot of work, been doing some gaming for myself, been working through some Assassin's Creed Odyssey, been trying to go back and do that. Been playing a lot of Call of Duty as well. Played some Valorant on my PC because, you know, I'm trying to outstretch and do a little bit of something else. I was like, but other than that, man, you know, doing my usual gaming. I was like, can't wait to get back on my Yakuza and all that good stuff. I recently started Streets of Rage 4. I was like loving it. Can't wait to start Minecraft Dungeons. I gotta get a group together because we're gonna do it all in 4-player co-op. But been good, man. You know, always gaming, always being reals.
Okay, no doubt. And then Sick Slayer, what's going on with you? I was getting you confused with another Sick out there. My bad. Uh, how you been? What's going on with you, fam? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
All right, man down already. Let's go.
Man down already. All right, Livewire, what's going on with you, fam?
Oh snap! The whole God fucking damn it! Oh man, the whole time you guys couldn't hear me, but nobody could say anything. Y'all just went with it.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Gotcha. Okay. All
Anyway,
right.
well,
Right.
either way, man, I wasn't doing much all week, man. Real slow, relaxing week because this is my last week of this little quarantine vacation. Next week I go back to my 5 days a week, so just doing much of nothing, you know.
Oh, no more sitting back parlaying. Oh, it's over
Yeah.
with, huh?
Yep.
Mercy. Mercy. All right, cool. All right. I see our guest has made it, but I'll get to you in a hot second. Already hit up Livewire. So what's up with you, Live? What's happening?
It's an infection, I swear to God.
I swear. I mean, we just heard Live talking, and now he just went away. That's the Dolphin King,
Hey, what up,
aka. All right, what's up, man?
Oh, you talking about? Oh, okay, my bad.
What's up? All right, and so our guest is here. Finally got the link. Had to do some tinkering, but he is here. What's up with you, King Thrash? What's happening with you, bro? Glad that you could come on to the GRG podcast, man. What it do? Here to represent. I see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can
Check
hear
it. Okay. Yeah, man. Happy to be here, man. You know what it is.
you. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Nothing.
No doubt. All right, cool. So, without further ado, I don't know where Lemon is. He was in here and then he popped out. I don't know if he was having audio issues or maybe a bunion issue, or maybe he was having some other type of issue that was going on with his intestines. I don't know. But anyway, other than that, he'll come in or he won't. But let's get down to the very first topic. And before I do that, my bad. Because I'm used to getting to the guests first. Man, tell everybody where they can find you at and all that good stuff. Your Twitter handle, all that. Where can everybody find you at, Thrash?
You can catch me on Roundtable Podcast channel. You know what I'm saying? My podcast has its own channel. Then you can catch my King Thrash gaming channel, or find me on Do What You Do on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I suggest though that you watch first before you subscribe, man. I don't like to just grab subscribers. Watch my shit, then after that, you know what I'm saying, you make your choice, bro. So
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, it's a more, how should I put it? It's a more open level of
yeah,
discussion, I should say. A
it's freedom,
Yeah.
pure
So,
freedom. Yeah.
yeah, pure freedom, pure freedom. So, yeah, it is what it is. All right. So cool. Hey, you got a fan in here, man. Chris Hart, man. He's already championing you. So, at least you got more people on your side here than I did over there. So I guess that should be some comfort. Anyway. So, oh man. So anyway, all right, let's get to it, man. The first topic, let's get straight into it. It was the Neo Geo, the Samurai Showdown. It's a kind of like a remake or a rebuild of some sort. It's or a collection, and it's actually coming out for PlayStation 4, Switch, PC. Didn't see anything about Xbox. It caused kind of an uproar, surprisingly, because of course, it is alleged that Xbox fans don't like Japanese games. But it was also stated that that it wasn't there, so people assume that, like, man, Xbox has missed out on another title, especially a collection, because they don't have all of those Samurai Showdowns. Especially there was a special Samurai Showdown that they had, and then when they went a little bit further, they showed a little bit of they showed like this new technology, which I hope that other people will implement, especially, well, I should say people, devs will implement with their older titles instead of them look so dated. Whatever that they did where they get closer in on the screen, show a lot more detail. I hope that they do that. So anyway, but long story short, they did. I did some digging. I found out that it was coming to Xbox. It was coming to a later date, because my first initial reaction was going to be like, "What the hell is going on? Why is this game not on Xbox when it's everywhere else?" But it was one of those things where you look at like, was this a kind of a bad promotion, or was this intentional? What was going on? So let's go straight to our guest, Thrash. What do you think was the reason why Xbox wasn't included, even though the game is coming to Xbox?
You talking Samurai Showdown, right?
Yeah, the collection. Yes.
Yeah. I think it's just based on the user base, bro. I mean, it's not that many people who own an Xbox, and then when they do own it, they kind of wait for games with gold, so it's not really attractive for some devs who's not going to be on games with gold. And if it was, then I don't know, bro. Like, I mean, those are two Japanese consoles that it came out on, right? And this is a Japanese game, and they usually pick their own people first. So, I mean, that's probably the deal right there.
I got you, but it really wouldn't make any sense when other Samurai Showdowns, the older ones, the Neo Geo ones was on the Xbox, plus the latest Samurai Showdown was on the Xbox. So if and I can understand you would make a great point, but if other Samurai Showdowns was already coming onto the Xbox, why would they hold that out? I mean, do you still stand by what you were saying, or do you think that?
I mean,
Okay,
it's more based on how well those games that did come out day and date did. I mean, if they didn't do too well, then they're gonna focus on who's gonna make them the most money first, and then whatever extra monies they'll start doing for Xbox. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it.
All
It's
right,
just it got to be a business thing.
Your opinion is law here, man. We value it. There's no issues with it. I mean, if somebody wants to ask you a question about whatever, then that's on them. But I'm not going to dispute it one way or the other. Like I said, I'm not here to attack you, and nobody else will.
Yeah.
It's just
I
whatever.
didn't think
You
so.
entitled to your opinion. Yeah, no. You was listening to the
Yeah.
podcast, I think, last week, so you see how we
Mhm.
get to it. Just it's a round table type of situation. It's just
Right.
that everybody else gives their points of view. So anyway, all right, well, cool. Slayer, what is your thoughts about that, man? I mean, do you agree with Thrash, or is there a different take that you have on it?
Thrash needs to get his head up on his ass. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, I'm going out. Oh, bro, really? They don't care about Japanese games, so it's coming out later, which is not, by the way. All the consoles get the game the same day. It's the PC that gets it first, ironically. So, and that's not a Japanese platform, by the way.
Actually, it is. It's a Chinese platform.
What?
It's the biggest. Chinese runs that platform, bro.
What, the PC?
Yeah, PC.
Oh my God! Wow.
Am I off? Tell me where I'm off.
Who makes the operating system?
That don't matter.
What?
That don't matter.
That's the number one thing that matters.
Microsoft. Microsoft makes it.
Yeah, an American company.
Okay.
So the PC is an Asian platform. If anything,
Wait.
that it's
Asian
okay.
You said
How did it happen? No, I said that it's predominantly Asian, but just because the operating system is owned by Microsoft doesn't mean they own that.
Is a global platform.
Yeah,
Very
Okay, guys,
platform.
one at a time.
You see, this is a round table.
Yeah, I said on the round table. Okay, go ahead.
So
Go ahead. All
there you go. No, the PC you could say is a global platform. Agreed, but to say it's predominantly Asian, no. So that disproves your whole point from the very beginning. Okay, you into it. Because you said it was Asian and it's not. You just admitted it. It's a global.
I said it's predominantly Asian who buy it. Chinese mostly. Chinese is the biggest gaming market on the planet.
It's so fucking.
I mean, you just simply look it up. I mean, I do whole documentaries on stuff like this. I know, and it's simple as checking Steam and seeing what's the most predominant language used, and you'll see Chinese. Like the Chinese
PC is a Asian platform. It's a global platform.
It is a global platform, but I'm just answering your question as to why it came
created. And the PC platform was created in America. You said that these games were coming to Japanese consoles first, which they're not. They're coming to the PC. So you were already wrong in both ways from the beginning. I don't know.
Well, did the original
English?
We understand.
Mean.
But did the original question include PC, or were we just talking about the three consoles?
No, I was saying that K-Mega said that the Xbox would get the game later. I said the consoles are going to get the game later. It's going to be on PC first. In fact, it's going to be on the Epic platform for free. in fact, for free for everyone. And then Steam gets it, I think the same day as the consoles, or maybe a week later, and then the consoles get it.
Yeah, I think Steam gets it before the consoles do. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, then I must
Xbox
I must misinterpreted the question. Then that's my bad. I was thinking you're talking consoles. You know what I'm saying?
So
I mean,
now then for the consoles, however, I don't know how this began. You know, this rumor began that Xbox players don't like Japanese games, but that is far from the truth. Okay, because as soon as this happened, people were asking, "Where's the Xbox version? Where's the Xbox version? Where's the Xbox version?" The developer had to clarify the situation and say he doesn't know what's going on with that, but there is an Xbox version alongside all the others, and it'll be out on the same day as the other console versions.
I thought it came out maybe a couple of days later, but I think you might be right that it came out at the same time. But all that matters that it's coming out though. That's
all that matters.
Like, I do believe that notion came from. There's a couple of bad eggs in the Xbox community. We gotta admit they are there, who are very vitriolic and toxic towards Japanese games. You could say it's justifiable. I believe it's justifiable in some cases. Yes, there are cases where developers do pick other platforms or Xbox. It's annoying as hell, but we just got to roll things, try, I guess, improve it from there going forward. But that does not proper word for it. You can't condone them for saying that I guess being toxic or just being nasty towards Japanese developers at that point. And that's really where that mindset stems from. And so when people saw that, they kind of just they pretty much just grafted onto the Xbox community as a whole, and it really just ran from there. And now people are running with Xbox gamers don't prefer or don't play Japanese games because we had a couple of assholes who are going around saying the Japanese games are trash and just being racist towards them.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. There is, I mean, it's always the minority that kind of like people will have this thought process that the whole majority of gamers think that certain way. It's no different than what we hear from PlayStation fans for when they say a certain thing to when you talk to another PlayStation fan and they don't agree. So no, there's plenty of Xbox fans that ask for shit. Yeah, and they can twist it because they're the loudest voice. The minority is the loudest voice. That is a fact. Okay, so
that is facts.
That is. What about you, 100? What is your thoughts about the whole situation? Was it a PR mess up, or was it something that maybe could have been intentional, or is it just it just was maybe a mistake and just leave it at that? Which one do you think it is?
I'm gonna tell you that collection. I don't give two shits about it because I already own all them games on Xbox.
Well, these games look a lot better, and it's also I think two.
Yeah, but you get two. You get both versions. I got all the only Samurai Showdown I don't own is the new one that came out. All the other Samurai Showdowns I have. You know what I'm saying? I own Samurai Showdown twice because I got one in the ACs in the archives, and I got one that just came out to the 360. So that could be the reason. Like you already got access to all these games, and these games, and especially when you get it from AC on the Neo Geo, they're $6. So
but the one difference is
to me, that's a big thing. It's not going to change the way he fights. Just because
but it will have lobbies. It will have lobbies. That's the one problem with the Neo Geo games. It's just one-on-one online. This will have lobbies to where everybody can, I don't know if it's going to be 6 or 8, but it will have lobbies. So it is advanced on that. And then it also will have a couple of Samurai Showdowns that only was on PlayStation and on PC. Then there was one that was never on any console.
I got all
it was a Samurai Showdown Special something. That one didn't even come to the States, I don't believe. And then the other two, there was
you're possibly right. The original version of Sam 5 did come out on the original Xbox, but I don't think that updated special version you're talking about.
Right, yeah. And then there was one else came on the PlayStation 4 that didn't come on to the Xbox. I know that one because I bought that one myself on the PS4.
There's also one thing to consider is that the Xbox sells like shit in Japan. And so these Japanese developers see that and be like, okay, I'm not going to focus on that. I mean, fuck, it barely sells. So
why you going to say that's their perspective? You can't.
That's their perspective.
Yakuza came out on Xbox. What? Everybody. It was never been on PlayStation. What? How many people? I know many people on my friend list going through Yakuza now. Even I think the other game is better than Yakuza, but that's just my opinion. You just can't sell what's not going to sell. It's called money. And if it's,
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you the perspective, bro. That's all I'm saying.
and they don't
the money to make an
think about
Xbox
it.
version.
Think about it. They're not looking. Think about it. They're not looking to sell to their Japanese people. They're looking to sell to us. They're looking to sell to North America and to Europe. That's who they're looking to sell to. That's who makes the most. That's who brings in the most revenue. They in Japan out there playing pachinko machines and playing their handhelds.
Well, like I said, man, PlayStation sells well in America, sells well in Europe, and it sells well in Japan.
Like,
The
good,
Xbox does.
get the game, but doesn't mean the Xbox does.
But Xbox doesn't need to sell super well in Japan. It needs to sell super well in the big boys.
No, it actually does.
South America.
It needs to sell super well there. It needs to sell super well everywhere, bro. It needs to sell super well.
Okay. So let me ask this. Let me ask this question. Okay, so since you definitely want to stay on this point. Okay, so you say that it sells well in Japan, but did you know that Nintendo sells better than PlayStation in Japan?
Yes.
Okay.
By far.
Okay.
By far. Hell yeah.
And PlayStation has more regions. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay, and do you also know that places like Mexico, Brazil, like pretty much all of South America, PlayStation is almost non-existent, and it doesn't sell well in Canada. So you know what I'm saying? The United States, Europe is which market? I mean, America is a really big market for PlayStation, and Europe is like their epicenter, their main hardcore place, because pretty much Europe is PlayStation country. You know what I'm saying? Because really, you know, I mean, PlayStation 4 is sold absolutely fantastic. Nobody cannot deny that. But I mean, when you make this point of saying that Xbox is not gravitating and selling in other areas and doing well, that's just not true. That's misinformation. I got to call you out when you point that out. But
no, I understand. But educate me on that. Okay, what other country other than America is it selling better than Sony? Better than Nintendo.
South America, Canada, and United States. I mean, that's Europe belongs to Sony.
Wait, no, they're not selling better in the United States. But
that's Xbox is selling better.
Stay on topic?
Okay, yeah, we can.
Okay. Go ahead. Sure.
Xbox is also a big. It's also a big seller in the UK. The UK is probably one of the biggest European countries that are big Xbox fans.
But it's not outselling It's not outselling the other two consoles.
Okay, but what's your point about the selling of Sony? Yes, we know PlayStation sells very well. Indeed, it does, and congrats to them. But are you trying to say that the other platforms are not deserving to get a game because the PlayStation is selling well? Because the Xbox is selling well enough. I mean, like close to 60 million, if not already over that.
No, it's not. It's not close to 60 million.
Well, okay, fine. Let's say it's 50. Let's lowball it and say it was 40. Although we know it's more
than 10 million.
Okay, it's more than 40, but it's not 50 million yet.
Okay, let's say it's 40. Just for the sake.
Let's say it's 50. Let's say it's 50. Go ahead.
Fine. Just for the sake of the point. So 50 million people isn't worth marketing a game to. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying no, hold on. I am saying that last generation they had 80 million and now they have 50.
What does that have to do with game though? And it's worth
the market. That's why user base is so important. These developers are going to look at
market of a user base of 50 million. So
listen, hear me out, bro. The Nintendo Switch surpassed the Xbox in sales within like 2 years, right? And the PlayStation 4 has already doubled it. So they're going to look at those two markets like we have more of a chance to sell our game statistically on these two platforms than the Xbox. I'm not bashing the Xbox. I'm just telling you how they see. I'm in business, bro. Like this is how they look at it. And whether we like it or not, that's what's going on. That's why so many games get announced for PlayStation and not for Xbox, is because or Nintendo and not for Xbox, or Nintendo and not for PlayStation even, because of that simple fact. So it's like
they spent money to develop the game though, and they somehow forgot to mention. That wasn't made for the.
Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it out the bush. Let's
get back on point. And let's get back on point after this.
Think about it. They support their own kind. They support the Asian community. They're gonna support them before they support the West, even though the West makes them more money. That's what they do. That is.
They used to do that.
No, they still do that. You got
No,
other
they
people like
used to.
still have to go sit there and go drop some bag of money.
Nah. I mean, let me give you an example of why they used to, real quick before we move on. I believe the PS2 launched in Japan first. PS3 launched, I think, in Japan's first, or is it the same time? PS4 launched in, I think, US first. You know, so it's like if that's like the main thing. Like a console can't do nothing without developers, and developers can't do nothing without the console unless they own other consoles. But that shows you that they're prioritizing America because they used to didn't. You used to be right. But now you can tell that they do because they're launching it in America before they're launching it in Japan.
Okay. All right. Well, let me go since Live over here was mumbling. Live, what do
Yeah.
you think about the whole situation with Sam Show and about missing out on not letting people know that it was coming out on Xbox and people had to dig to find out that it
Wait, Sam
was? I
Show.
mean,
Who's that?
Samurai Showdown, Samurai Showdown Collection. Come on, Live. Get it together.
No, all right. You said Sam Show. I thought he was like some
Yeah,
person.
fresh out the
Oh,
gulag.
that's the short version. My bad. That's the fighter in me.
I was like, you gotta realize.
I know
Hey,
you ain't into
Samurai
the fighting games like
Showdown.
that. My bad.
Hey, I was saying,
Yeah.
he should be suspended from answering this question. I know what Sam Show was.
But he's not in the fighters like that, like I am
No,
and stuff like that.
no.
So
That's
No, I
anyway,
feel him. I feel him.
yeah. But go ahead, Live. What do you think? Was it a PR issue or was it just was it intentional? What do you think?
I don't know. Sometimes you just don't fit on the screen for whatever reason. I mean, they just made an executive decision. They all come in these tests, but maybe it doesn't fit on the screen for whatever reason. To be honest, I mean, is it on? If it's coming to the platform, does it really matter? To me, no, doesn't. It's whatever. We can pick nits, but I mean, like, come on, man. This is Microsoft. They've been through this year. I mean, the whole generation. So, you know, it is what it is.
Got you. Okay, PK. What is your thoughts on this, man?
All right, so I just want to make a couple things clear. First of all, reading the guy's tweet, Mike Mika, he clears it up, says it will be a simultaneous release on the consoles. But he tries to, he says, well, it's for some reason it got lost in the shuffle, basically, and the marketing side. I do believe the marketing is very intentional because they spend a lot of money on this.
Thank you.
But at the same time, it has nothing to do with Sony or Nintendo. Okay, this Samurai Showdown collection is not even being done by SNK. It's being done by American company. It's licensed through SNK. So it's being brought to us through an American company that is going to produce it or make it available for everyone. So they already have the Xbox version done. It has something to do with the deals they made with Epic and the marketing rights, right? And it has something to do with the marketing shares. That money is why the Xbox version and the Stadia version, which no one mentions, was not mentioned in the marketing. So it has nothing to do with the history because the history shows that Samurai Showdown sold the least amount on any Nintendo platform. Period. Matter of fact, the last time Samurai Showdown touched the Nintendo platform was on the Wii, and no one bought it. So let's just keep it 100 that the
Wait,
360.
hold on. Wait, you said you're talking about in comparison to which Samurai Showdown? Because the one that just came out, the newest one is on the Switch.
Okay, I'm talking about before then. This Samurai Showdown collection, the same games they're about to resell. Yes, so the last time it touched a Nintendo console was on the Wii, and it did not sell well then either.
Oh, okay, I see what you.
So it has nothing to do with that. And for its business, yes, they do look at numbers, but they also look at history. Nintendo Switch, the main games that sell on that console is Nintendo games. So what they do is they bring out old games to recycle it to get a little cash grab. It's not because it's going to sell well. It's because it's easier to make it digital and available for a cash grab. It's not going to sell that good. But because it's a Switch, it's easier and accessible to get a cash grab for an older game. If you look at the Nintendo, I look at it all the time, but if you look at the Nintendo store, majority of it is 8 to 16-bit games or old games. Some Japanese titles that you might not see on any other console, but majority of it It's old games. So it has nothing to do with
Wait.
It's,
You talking about the Nintendo Switch?
yes. I'm
Do you
talking
own
about
the
the Switch.
Nintendo Switch?
I own everything plus 3.
Oh,
As do I.
he's a Nintendo guy. So I mean,
He's
I
the
don't know.
Nintendo guy. Yeah,
He's a
don't.
I'm a
Nintendo guy.
Nintendo
So
guy.
yeah.
I'm a
So I
Nintendo
don't.
guy. I'm a Nintendo guy too.
Stop. This is my time to talk.
Uh-oh.
The only
Okay.
thing,
Okay. Go ahead. Speak on it. Speak on it, brother.
the only
Speak
games
on
that
it.
truly sell well on Nintendo is Nintendo games. Period. Overwatch doesn't sell that well. Nothing else sells that well. Period. Okay, that's reality. Yes, there is King of the Fighters on. I bought it on Switch, but you know what? It doesn't sell that well. But it's there. It's available. They're gonna make it available. Like they're gonna make it available to all consoles. But again, it's not a Japanese thing. It's being brought to us through an American company. Just like Streets of Rage 4 was not done by Sega. It was licensed through them, but it was also brought to us through an American company. The point I'm making is it was something to do with the marketing rights and the deal they made with Epic. Epic made that same deal with Borderlands 3. I know a lot of people didn't remember this, but there was no Steam version announced for Borderlands 3. But there was coming to Steam. This wasn't coming into April. And that was a big deal.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I'm just rewinding to make this clear that it is very intentional on the marketing, but it has something to do with the money that was put in for the marketing for this title. And again, it has nothing to do with Nintendo or Sony. It's the deal that this particular company made with Epic and how they handled that marketing rights. The same deal that was made with 2K or Gearbox when they was doing Borderlands 3. The reason why Steam wasn't mentioned in the marketing. And the same thing. It's the same thing. It's nothing new. It's nothing super diabolical or any of that stuff. I mean, this same company that's bringing the Samurai Showdown did a lot of Disney games and did a lot of different games they brought and ported over. This is just normal thing for them. This is easy money for them. Right? So I'm just going to go back and say it has nothing to do about a user base and none of that because they're doing it for every platform. Because they're going to try and make money off these old games again. Because you make it digitally available, an old game that's already sold, or did its life cycle, you're making a plus. So doing a port isn't going to cost that much overhead when you come down to what you're getting back in return, because you're not developing a new game, you're just porting it. So the cost is low.
Okay. One question before.
Yeah, go ahead.
One question for him. So you're saying that the games on the Nintendo Switch doesn't sell well. Are you referring to third-party games?
Yes.
Okay. Why is it that in 2019, The Witcher sold more in 3 months than the Xbox did in the entire year?
First of all, The Witcher still didn't sell well, especially after knowing how it.
That's not what I said. That's not what I asked. I'm just asking you why. If you're saying that it doesn't sell, it sold better on the PlayStation, sold better on PC, but against the Xbox, The Witcher sold more on the Switch in 3 months than the entire year for the Xbox.
Well,
how do you know what sold on the Xbox?
Hold on. Hey. Let me answer this.
Let me answer this. First of all, I have to fact check you before I answer that question. Okay? I don't know if what you're saying is accurate. I'm not going to go about what you're saying. That could be a.
That's fine. That's fine.
What I will say is, all the other games that are geared towards a bigger audience, such as Overwatch, which sold more, no, it did not sell well on the Switch. It sold better on the Xbox / PC / PlayStation. Period. There is a huge user base on those 3 platforms compared to the Switch. The reason why single player games do better because there's no online existence on that platform. So let's not go there and try to compare Xbox. We're talking about Samurai Showdown. So let's stay on topic.
Well, no, I wasn't attacking Xbox. I was just saying that as a comparison because Xbox is the main console.
You point out one game, and I could keep on going on and on.
PK, PK, let me just make this point, and then I got to go to Bloody, and then we can move on to the next topic. But hold on, let me make this point. The reason, because like I said, like PK said, you got to fact checks that. I don't know, it could be true, but it could be by the time that the game came out on the Xbox had a lower install base, and compared to what this when the game came out on the Switch.
Wait, we're missing one gigantic point right now. We're comparing a 2019 release launch to a 2015 launch.
That's
Well,
exactly
that's what I'm saying.
what I said
That's
before.
exactly what I was saying. Is that right? Like, I mean, it's completely different. Right. That's what I was saying. Like, yeah. So it came out in 2015 on the Xbox, which had a lower install base, and the Switch wasn't even out yet. I don't believe.
No, there's nothing new.
My point was let's not miss the point. The point is that he's saying that third-party games don't sell on the Switch. My point was I was just giving an example of how it does.
I'm saying that if you look at Bloodstained right now, it has not sold well on Switch, but it sold well on the other platforms, and it was a simultaneous release. I'm saying that Darkside Genesis did not sell well on the Switch, but it sold well on the other platforms. I'm saying that I can point out over and over and keep going down the ball with simultaneous releases and stay. MK11 did not sell as good as it does on the Xbox, on the Switch, period. I'm saying that we could keep doing this. Dragon Ball Z Fighters, we can keep going on and on. That's not up for debate. We're talking about Samurai Showdown.
So, all right. So let me get to Bloody because we got to get on to the next topic. I see one away here. We'll get to you on the when we get.
No,
to the
don't
next
get to
topic.
me. Just go check the chat. Don't get to me. A lot of nonsense being said in here. Go look at the chat. Go look at the chat.
All right.
Tired of this. Tired of this.
Oh, okay, it is what it is, bro. Relax. Good grief. All right. You know what? What a way this turned into your boy humor. Just popping in and out. Anyway, so Bloody, give me your thoughts on this before we move on to the next topic, man.
Well, my thoughts on it are basically kind of where PK was coming from, that the game is being simultaneously launched. We've seen this with other games that have marketing rights. As he talked about, is that it's coming and being released first on Epic. So it's going to be a PC launch title first before coming to the other consoles. However, we've seen with other games in the past, depending on which company is getting the marketing rights and what is shown during that trailer, what consoles or what platforms are being announced. We've seen it with several others in the past, and some of them are very obvious games that are obviously going to be multi-plat that are without a doubt going to other platforms, but just during the marketing are left out. As PK and Sick both pointed out, the fact is that it is also getting a Stadia version, but that was not mentioned about as well. The fact that it's coming to Xbox and it's going to be a simultaneous launch with the rest of the consoles is a good thing. However, it does come down to the point that it is one of those things of where a lot of the community who wanted to support that game, who wanted to know about the game, who obviously won it on that platform, had to go out and ask to find that information for them. It wasn't announced from the developers or the team after the trailer first dropped and said it's also coming, like we've seen in the past, especially as we've seen with an aggressive push from the media, from news outlets, as well as the devs themselves, after we've seen a lot of trailers for games that are announced with marketing with Xbox, which are announced later on or directly after, saying yes, this is going to be on this platform, this platform, this platform. The developers did not do that. So that is a failure on their marketing and their messaging on what platforms it is all going to after the point was made. The fact that it's still coming to the platform is good, and that there was a want and desire to support that game on the platform because it is older Samurai Showdown games. They are something that a lot of fighters wanted in that aspect. However, it's still a failure on the marketing and planning from the actual devs and the publishing company about making sure to notify after that trailer and after that information was released what additional platforms it's going to be coming to that wasn't in the announcement trailer when they stated that it was coming out.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, bro. Yeah, it's all on marketing. If that's the case, everybody should be fired on marketing, like hire me, So
well, again, it's probably some deal that was made with Epic. That's
Out of
what
his
No,
made with
with
Epic.
with the fact of how Epic has done publishing deals as well as marketing deals in the past with other games, especially what they've done through the Epic Game Store, I would say that it would be an issue with the fact of that they would only allow so many platforms or so many other announcements for other consoles alongside their announcement of the actual game itself, since they do have the early release launch window for the game. So they want to try to capitalize on say, hey, guess what? We are launching the game first. It's going to be free on our platform. But yes, it's coming to other platforms if you wish, but they're trying to promote their aspect of getting it. Similar to what we've seen with games that will obviously be multi-plat, but do state and have Xbox marketing, especially we see from the third party and indie developers saying, hey, yes, this game that we're making is going to be multi-plat, but it is going to launch day and date either in Game Pass or they're going to release it and show more marketing with Xbox, but yes, it'll still be a multi-plat. That's what this game is. However, depending on the marketing deal and the publisher, being Epic or any other company, they left out certain aspects of the marketing and what platforms it's going to, as well as failing to provide any additional information of any additional platforms that it is coming to.
Oh man. Okay, so 108 showed some numbers of The Witcher. 12 million on PC, 10 million on the PS4, 4.3 million on the box, 700,000 on the Switch. So, all right, well, and that would
Wait. What numbers?
For The Witcher 3.
Like total numbers?
I believe so. Well, I mean, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to do the math. I mean,
I clearly
well, no,
said
that's not, that can't be total numbers because I guess that's just for The Witcher 3 because overall the Witcher franchise has sold 59 million, which is a huge feat.
50 million.
Yeah. Did you say
it's all pretty
it's 50
good, but I'm knowing that I said 2019, so he should check his numbers.
Yeah,
Okay,
but,
so I can jump in real quick before I wrap up any further. Real quick, sick. So I'm gonna go on a limb saying the article is true. I would not be surprised if a new release in 2019 beat the sales of a game that's previously already on a console for past 4 years at that point.
exactly.
I don't understand the point.
That's
Yeah, you get the point.
I'm saying PC and PlayStation sold more. So I'm just the point is
they got a larger install base. Of course they would.
The point is that he said that third-party games don't sell on the Switch, and I'm telling you that it does.
700,000 for The Witcher 3 is not very good.
And that's in less than a year.
Wait, hold on.
That's total.
That is not the point.
Total.
That's total in less than a year.
That's good for
No,
them.
that's more than a year. That's
more than
When
a
did
year.
they come
That's
out?
not good.
When did they come out?
2019. You're the one who told us.
Okay, it's 2020. When did it come out?
You said 2019.
2019. That's what you told us.
Did it come out August 2019?
No,
It
no,
doesn't
okay,
matter.
all right.
It doesn't
Listen.
matter.
Let's get to the
mean,
next topic. Let's get to the topic. Let's get to the top. Let's get to the next topic. Oh my goodness. Okay, so all right, so I do have to do this, right? Because I said I was before we got on the show. I remember when I was on your show last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? It was one. I can't remember now, but your boy was adamant, and you and everybody else in the chat was adamant about the whole SSD situation, about that it's more powerful, that it will bring more power into the PlayStation and then when I got the overall answer, and he said yes, and I don't know how to talk about tech. Now I went and I not only asked developers, other people that I know that's deep into tech. And also there was a video that came out this week. I forget the name of that guy. He's a really big YouTuber. He's all into tech. And he even broke it down that the SSD
Austin
power.
Evans?
Yeah, that's his name, Austin Evans. He even broke it down that it's not that it's pretty much it's bullshit. It's pretty much bullshit. Do you want to elaborate to that, man? Because I mean, you guys were pretty adamant about this SSD for the PlayStation 5 was going to be the end all to where it was going to make it catch up to the Xbox to the Series X in power, and that it was some kind of secret sauce. I need you to clarify that. Do you stand your ground, or are you changing now?
Oh yeah, let me clarify that because
Okay.
clearly you heard wrong.
Okay, all
Um,
right. I heard what
no,
I heard what Human said.
uh, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I can clarify what I said,
Okay.
what Six said, and what everybody else was saying.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't talking about teraflops. We were talking about the SSD and
Right.
how the SSD will fundamentally change how developers make games. And I gave you an example about how, because of the Blu-ray being on a PS3 and on the Xbox 360, they had the regular HD DVD. A lot of games couldn't come to the 360 because of storage issues. Had nothing to do with power. It had the way it was just a fundamental change. Same thing with the Nintendo 64 and the PS1. Nintendo 64 was double the power of the PS1, but everybody flocked to make games for the PS1 because not only was it cheaper, they had more space. So they had more money, and then they had an easier way to develop. The Nintendo 64 games were coming out like $80, you know? So it's not that the power thing, right? We said, and we can go back to the video. We said that there's no denying that the Xbox Series X has more teraflop powers. What he was asking you was, what type of power do you mean? Like teraflops
I said,
isn't.
and again, I said overall power between the PlayStation 5.
Then you will be wrong because you don't know what the overall power. Because teraflops does not define the overall power. If you're going to say overall power,
I didn't say anything about teraflops. I just said overall power. So okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I understand now. Well, that's basically what we were saying, though. We were saying that these developers are going to make games fundamentally different because it's now cheaper and easier for them to make the game they want to make. So that's not only good for the developers, that's good for the execs because they get to save money. They don't got to pay people extra money for overtime or whatever the hell they got to do because they got to make an extra corridor in the game that they make in that corridor simply because of the limitations of the HDD.
Now you do know that the Series X has an SSD as well, right? Okay.
I do know. I'm getting to that. I do know that.
Okay. All right.
The difference, though, between the Xbox and the PlayStation's SSD and why it's so big is because the SSD is able to stream things in faster at a higher quality and do it in a different way than what Microsoft can, with the Xbox Series X can. There are SSDs on the streets right now that are more powerful than the one coming in the Series X. It's just that, or more faster, I should say, right now today. And the PlayStation, they made it to where they removed all bottlenecks. So now we can put, just like the Epic thing, they had 8K fucking textures in this shit. That's available for them to do because the SSD can process that, you move that shit in so fast, stream it in so fast without no bottlenecks that it's available for them to do. So it's like it's all about, it's less about power and more about technique. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Floyd Mayweather right now. And that's what developers are saying. These are things that developers say, not me. So I don't know what that guy is talking about on YouTube, but nobody is denying the power of the Xbox. People are just saying that just like the Nintendo 64 versus the PS1, power not going to matter on this one because the technique is too good. That's what we were saying.
Technique.
Yeah. Okay, Mike, can I speak on this now?
Yeah. No, that's what I was gonna say. I wanted him to say what he had to say, and you guys, this is a roundtable part of it. Go ahead and let us know what you guys think of what he just said.
Let me get this one because you had made that one point before that, but that we're both gonna make. So let me just get this. I'll make it real quick, and you can go next, I guess. All right.
Okay.
I wanted to say something after that.
All right. Cool. So you're saying that an SSD that's particularly the one in the PS5 can do all these great things that the Xbox can't do, and that's going to make the difference in teraflops of the. Okay, forget teraflops. The GPU, not only the raw performance, the features that it has that the PlayStation does not have. Okay, we're not going to get into who and what because it's all over the internet to go read. So if you don't know by now, you already done lost the conversation. All right. To talk about the sound hardware. Okay. To talk about, every aspect of the system that's superior on the Xbox. The memory is faster. Okay, the CPUs are faster. every aspect of the Xbox is superior except for the SSD. And you're trying to tell us that the SSD is going to be the saving grace of the PS5 versus
No.
the Xbox?
No.
Well, then
Listen again. They removed all of the bottlenecks in between the IO throughput to the SSD.
the IO. So
IO, the whole IO throughput, bro. Like everything.
Okay, so IO throughput. You see, you can't just use these words versus a tech person because a tech person will correct you. And
Nigga, just say it.
you're speaking to a tech person. Okay, when we talk about IO and bottlenecks, it's not just the IO of the drives. It's also the RAM, the CPU, the whole system on the Xbox is faster than the PS5. This is not debatable. Even if you was
Did they remove bottlenecks? Yes or no?
Who did?
Xbox.
Yeah.
They did.
The reason why they put the whole
There's less bottlenecks on the Xbox compared to the PlayStation. When you talk about bottlenecks, you're laughing like you know what you're talking about.
I do. I'm gonna say
All
like
right,
this.
well, okay, Slayer, guys, be respectful. Debate it. Be
No,
debate
but
it.
like
Come on. Let's go.
like Megan, this is my biggest issue right here. It's like you always hear this argument about the SSD, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you act like Xbox's SSD is just some SSD they just threw in a box.
Never said
the
that.
hell. Like bro, just like I love Bruce Lee, right? But Bruce Lee, no matter how good that motherfucker was, he's not gonna beat no Muhammad Ali, dog. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. You know how much that dude weighed? Soaking wet, maybe 100 pounds versus Muhammad Ali. Out of here. Like, just because you have technique, you can't make up for power. If that was the case, heavyweights will fight middleweights or lower than that. There's a reason why there's weight classes, dog. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, I agree. There is a reason for that. But the problem with your analogy is that we're talking gaming, not boxing. And if you have to change how your game is made, do it the hard way versus the easy way now. It's not about power no more.
But who determines what's hard and what's easy? That's what I'm saying.
The developers, the same developers who have flocked over and said that this fundamentally changes everything.
Okay.
Hang on. Chill for a second. What quantifies as doing it the hard way versus the easy way?
That's a good question.
What is the point? What is the difference and the exact key to making one SSD over another? Because remember, there's thousands of SSDs from multiple manufacturers with multiple aspects and builds, whether they're using heat sinks, not using heat sinks, whether they're NVMe or they're SATA SSDs. There's multiple styles. So what is so special about this SSD that considers it from making it from the easy way to the hard way? That is the point and quantification I want you to explain, please.
I will take a quote, I think, from what you said. This information is all over the internet. So check the internet. Don't take my word for it. Check that.
I like that.
He has no idea.
It's time to keep it a buck.
All right, go ahead.
No, I'm not. It's not that I don't have an idea. I mean, how come you can dodge a question, or not even dodge? You saying check the internet? It's all over the internet. I mean, fuck.
No,
it is all over the internet.
That's not what I said.
Talking about going through the bullet.
All right, one at a time. One at a time, guys. One at a time.
Yeah, just because it's on the internet. Me and Mega have this fight all the time. Just because on the internet don't mean it's true. Anybody can write anything. Anybody can say anything. There's a lot of people around here that they act like they tech guys, all on YouTube and all that. They just real good regurgitators.
Facts. I fully agree with that. I fully agree with that.
So they really do not know. Thing about it, it's been developers that said the Xbox Series X is the best place to go, and it's gonna be and it's somebody from PlayStation said the same thing. We ain't gonna know when you see till you see the battlefields in the Call of Duties.
All right, you're fat.
That's when you go. That's when
you're gonna see it.
What is easy to work for. So you can't say oh, this system is this that, this system is that. Microsoft has indie developers that came on and said, hey, we picked this, we made it exclusive because this is powerful to the PC. And we do not need to slam it back. We could put this one game out and we make it one time and it just runs. And they said that's why. And they didn't create freedom. Everybody else, these other people, it's their preference. Like I say, I like Android, but I can't. But my brother likes Apple. I can't stand nothing Apple. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. Me neither. I hate that.
Yeah. Don't mean that it's a bad product.
It's a great product.
I like AMD over Intel.
I don't choose neither one of them. Yeah, that don't give a damn.
I mean, you just don't have. It's okay.
I got a question though. I do have a question.
Okay.
So, do you guys understand the importance of the Epic demo, the tech demo for their Epic engine? Do you guys understand the importance?
Understand it, but what do you understand about it?
That is a glorified tech demo. That's no better than when Microsoft. That's no better than when Microsoft showed Milo out doing the Connect. It was a glorified thing. It's
because it's not a game. So that's the one thing.
It's not a game. It's a glorified. That's
not true.
It's no game.
What's not true?
Nothing.
What's not true?
It's
you saying that's a game?
Before we go down this rabbit,
no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's not like. Hold on. It's not like the Connect, like how they did the tech demo for the Connect. It's nothing like. It's not that.
No, that's what it is. It's showing you what it can do.
It's different.
It's what it can do. That's all it's doing is showing you what it can do.
Okay.
They show games that's already where it can do now. They show games that you got now that's going up the resolution. They show what their machines have done.
When you're talking about that,
demo.
Okay, Bo.
Hold on. Let me help you out.
Yeah.
Sony didn't show a damn thing. I think that's where a lot of mix-up goes with this. Sony didn't show a damn thing. Epic did. What they showed us.
Let him
hold on.
Let him talk.
When you mentioned the Connect and what they showed with Milo, that was a demo from a company shown to customers like us, so the gamers. This Epic demo wasn't even meant to be shown to us. It was meant to be shown to developers. To show you what the
right there.
Right, yeah, that's
a
GDC.
Yeah,
right.
bullshit.
No, you're right. You're right about that.
That was supposed to show that at
GDC.
GDC.
Then why
That was supposed
about Summerfest and whatever shit?
Because that's only sweet and that's only what's the name shit. I'm just telling you the honest truth. If you can go look it up,
man, come on.
It ain't my fault your facts is bad. I'm just telling you that was supposed to be shown at GDC, and GDC wasn't for us. It was for developers.
So it's a tech demo.
It's a tech demo for their engine. In fact, they held back some things from the PlayStations to show off and sell their engine to developers.
No, they're not gonna. They do that all the time. They got. I show plenty of their tech demos on the show. Like, I mean, yeah, it's just
they
different
do this,
situation.
but it was made. The point is, it was made for developers, not gamers. The importance of that. The importance of that setting is that it's not about selling games. It's not about selling consoles. It's about selling that engine and showing the abilities that this engine, what this engine can do. They worked with Sony together for years to make that shit, just so they can show off their engine.
No.
You said
these are my words.
You said years.
These are my words.
And then you said that
Wait, so they didn't work.
They're not charging nobody until you make $1 million. So how
hang on, guys.
Let's not dogpile them.
Hang on. That was the quote from Tim Sweeney himself that they did work in years with Sony in regards to this building the new tech engine for the new Unreal. That was a quote directly from Tim Sweeney himself. So that you can't go take against Thrasher.
What I'm saying is, like him saying this is like, well, he only worked with PlayStation.
Yeah,
no. That's clearly not what I'm saying. Don't misinterpret what I say. What I'm saying is, that's why I'm saying that it's important. That's why I asked, did you understand the importance of that? Because they're not selling to us, they're selling to developers to make for all consoles. The reason they chose Sony because Sony worked in tandem with them. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a marketing deal. You didn't see a fucking PS5 controller pop up or no shit like that. But you saw the buttons.
But do you
but
understand?
It was
the question I'm going to ask you though is, do you understand what that means though? With that,
I do.
With that relation. Okay, so what is that? Please explain. What does the relationship between Epic and Sony mean?
It's not really a relationship. It's just a deal.
Whoa. Why
You know what I'm saying?
Why would they show it on Sony's hardware unless they were trying to unless there was some kind of deals or talking
Yeah,
for the
'cause they don't
future?
even use it.
I just
that.
said it was a deal.
Right,
It's not for the future
but
it's not for the future. It can't be for the future. It's for everybody. It's for developers to use
I know
for
that,
their games.
but there's a reason behind that. That's why I was asking you. So
Right,
so
there
so
is.
okay, so do you think I'm just going to bring it out there because I wanted to see if you was going to follow me where I was going with this. So do you think that now maybe Sony might try to have some games being made off of the Epic's engine instead of the Decima engine?
You mean Sony themselves? I mean, they've used the Epic engine
like Sony, Sony's
with Days
first party
Gone.
games.
Yeah, I mean, they've used the Epic engine with Days Gone, so it's not like they wouldn't use it. You know what I'm saying? The Decima engine is going to be something else. I think it'll put out better looking games for the PS5 than Epic's thing would. Epic's Unreal Engine would, only because it's specifically made for that shit. But I think the main thing is that Epic wanted to show their product on the PS5 to show off what can be done that can't be done nowhere else. They wanted to show it in its best light.
So that can't be shown on the Series X. Is that what you're trying to say?
It can be shown on the Series X, but they would have to. I heard something about they had to.
They would have to
basically downgrade. Yeah, optimize it to run on the X.
Optimize the downgrade. Didn't they when they said immediately after that it was on a laptop running better?
No. Tim Sweeney actually debunked that as well. That was really it was a video. They were playing a video. He even says, watch at the end where it says MP4 in the corner. So Tim Sweeney pointed. This is the president of Epic, not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't confuse it from my sayings. Don't look that shit up. The internet is available to you. All I'm telling you is that this is what they said. And people said, oh, what about the China thing? Tim Sweeney debunked that shit with the quickness. So it's like, you guys can ignore all this stuff if you want. I mean, I don't care if it's stronger. I don't care about games, to be honest. I give a fuck about their power level.
Why are we talking about Epic then?
We're talking about Epic because of the importance of the SSD and the importance of the PlayStation and the I/O, and the reason why they showed
that. An engine that creates physics has nothing to do with your SSD.
Listen.
Two different things.
Listen, bro.
That's right. I mean, you skirted into a whole different topic, but
no.
I was
waiting to see if you were going to come bring it back.
Engine in manufacturing, it has nothing to do with. Matter of fact, manufacturing people who use these same physics.
I'm listening. Did he cut off?
No,
Yeah, he cut off.
Yeah, he got cut off.
I'm like, shit, did I cut off?
No. Yeah, he cut off.
No.
But all I'm saying is that they wanted to show their product.
Wait, hold on, PK, hold on 1 second. You cut off like 5
Yeah, you cut off.
Yeah, you
cut
did.
off.
You did.
So we didn't hear everything that you were saying.
I was just saying that the engine being used has nothing to do with SSD. Those are two mutually exclusive things.
It does.
No, it does not.
It
I have used these physics engines on manufacturing devices. They don't.
How many times you use the Unreal Engine 5 on the PlayStation 5?
I have not used it on PlayStation 5.
What are you talking about? Then why are we talking about this?
Exactly. I'm trying to understand why are you bringing up a physics engine with an SSD when it has nothing to do with each other.
Wait, why would you PS5? I don't get this.
You said we're talking about games. You're bringing up Epic's physics engine.
When did I say we're talking about games? I said, do you guys know the importance of the of Epic's?
It's still.
I said it was important because it wasn't made for us. It was made for developers, and they wanted to show their engine. Whenever you're selling something, you want to show it in its best light.
Well, same thing with AMD when they came out and say, "Hey, we work closely with Microsoft to develop our new APU," and only Microsoft's been on their stage, not Sony.
I don't disagree.
So that has nothing to do with the SSD. So let's go back.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Isn't the Xbox Series X the most powerful console out there?
It
of
is not,
Xbox One X and the Series X? Ain't that the most powerful console?
that has nothing to do with the SSD.
So they wanted to put it in the best light. I'm just saying. I'm talking about your AMD statement. You know what I'm saying?
All I'm saying
They always
is marketing.
people.
That has nothing to do with your SSD.
When it comes to the engine, you always want to put your product in the best light. They chose PlayStation because it can do what others can't. They can scale down to let the other ones do that, but they want the best of the best of the best. What they showed you, teraflops isn't going to deliver to you.
Let me tell you how.
This is Tim Sweeney. This is Tim Sweeney, bro.
Let me just tell you
I don't know.
how the licensing worked with this goddamn shit, okay? You license this shit. And if it does not work to your advantage on your hardware, and you don't get all the features because you got to pay for each feature, then you're not going to buy it. You're not going to license it. So it needs to work just as good on the Series X or PC, for the matter of fact. Because remember, these games are not being made for PlayStation 5.
Right. Whoa. Now this is where you messed up at. It's because
Hold on, let him talk. Stop.
Let me retort your shit real quick, bro.
Go ahead.
Because what if they're making a game like that?
Who is they?
PS5.
Clarify what
developers.
No, clarify what developer. Make a good.
What? It don't have to be. Why does it have to be somebody?
Because
like, it's a developer.
If it's Activision, if it's EA,
it doesn't matter. Like,
matter.
Why would it? Okay, Capcom. All right. If they're making a game that's using the Unreal Engine 5 and they want to do it in a certain way for the PlayStation, this is where the strength that I've been telling you guys about is coming from for PlayStation, because then it will be exclusive to the PlayStation.
So
otherwise, they would have to change. They would have to change the way.
That's not how third party. That's not how third party games work. That's why.
It surely is.
Let me in on this because I've been waiting.
Go ahead, PK.
All right, go ahead.
PK, say what you got to say, and then live, you go right after.
First of all, I'm gonna go back to when you made a statement about how the 360's storage problem. Well, let's just be real. The games were made on a 360, then ported to the PS3 because it was harder to develop.
That's not true.
That is
That's absolutely true.
Wait. What games? Like, are you talking about certain people? Let me give you an example. Metal Gear. Hold on. Wait. Metal Gear, because you're wrong. Metal Gear Solid 4 was made by a third-party developer, and he said himself that it didn't make it for the Xbox because of the motherfucking memory of not having a Blu-ray.
The reason that they didn't make it was because of the fact that the PS3 had a Blu-ray disc drive, and the 360 did not. No, but that's not. No, that is not the memory. That is the storage on the disc.
The memory on the disc. Sorry, on the disc. Okay, sorry. My fault. You know what I mean, bro? Like.
No, those are two very different.
Okay, you're right. You're right. I was wrong. I meant the memory on the disc, not the storage, or the storage on the disc, not the memory. Whatever, my nigga. You know what I mean?
It's all good. But it's all right. He admitted he was wrong on it. That's cool.
That's
fine.
100%
wrong wording. That's
100% accurate.
It's all right. I just want one at a time. I don't want everybody to jump on the man.
Games were developed for the 360 and then ported to the PS3 because the cell processors were harder to develop for, and that's 100% accurate.
That's 100% fact. But that you're saying it like all games, and that's where I'm saying you're inaccurate at. Are we clear on that?
Let me keep going because I don't want to stop there.
All right.
And you said, did you say that there are SSDs on the market right now that is faster than what the Series X is going to bring out?
They got NVM3s, NVM4s.
That's not what I asked.
SSDs. Yes, fine. Yeah.
That is also not accurate.
Yes.
That is also
it's not
accurate. No.
Okay. How fast is Xbox's SSD?
Apparently, it goes almost 5 gigs per second.
Almost 5 gigs per second. So there's no SSD on the market that goes 5. That goes almost 5 gigs per second.
There's no one you can buy right now. None. There is nothing.
Where's the tech guy at? Are you the tech guy?
Listen, I'm telling you, there is nothing you can buy right now that is that fast.
All right, where's the tech guy at? Are you the tech guy?
This, you know what? And just so we can be clear, this is why both of the SSDs are proprietary. Because there's nothing out there that you can get right now
What?
that is that
Wait,
fast.
what?
There's no,
Proprietary?
there are no SSD drives out there that you
Hold
can
on.
buy right now. With, no,
Are you telling me
them two are
that
the quick SSD drives that you can get. For you cannot get no faster SSD drive.
I'm
They're
listening to you
not
right
selling.
now,
They're
sure, sure,
and I'm telling you right now, if I could get it, I
sure.
would get it. The fastest SSD you can get is made by
and I'm
Samsung.
working IT.
I mean,
I'm telling you right now.
Good.
okay,
I'm
hold
telling
on,
you right now.
drive all day. It
hold
ain't
on.
nothing faster than that.
All right,
Okay.
hold on.
Look it up.
Gentlemen. That Livewire had a
Just don't look it up.
No, we ain't
Live
talking about your CPU.
100.
This, something that.
100. Chill. Let me Live was had a question. Y'all just trying to overtalk what that boy has to ask. Live,
Yeah.
go ahead,
No,
man.
no,
Yeah.
So I just want to make it clear that there is no SSD faster than the ones coming in these consoles at the moment. There is nothing that's why they're proprietary.
Okay.
That's why you have to have
Proprietary. I'm lost on that one.
Okay,
Like,
don't know what that means.
PK. Okay, we got it. Okay, Live. What do you got to say?
no, I think what we got mixed up is this whole SSD talk. You know, Thrash is talking about exclusives, and everybody else is talking about multi.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about the SSD powered, you know, whatever the PlayStation has to offer. But he's only talking about exclusives. He's not.
that's not true.
Not,
Well, no, I am, but I'm not.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
saying
because
that the
like,
point is
not like
that
Valhalla's gonna
the point
run
is
there.
that the third party, like, they're gonna have third party exclusives to the PlayStation because of the SSD. Right, that's what I mean. Yeah, then that's what you mean. I thought you meant like just PlayStation exclusives. I'm just clarifying.
No. What
I mean third party as well.
Exclusive to that platform, right? It's not going to be on Xbox. It's not going to be on PC. It'll be exclusive to that platform. It's supposed to run specifically for the PlayStation because, again, if it's built, if it's saying that it's built specifically for the PlayStation, and PC obviously doesn't have anything that's going to meet with it until a year from now, right? And you're using very specific techniques to do it, it's not going to run well just with any old thing. Otherwise, it's going to take to do.
And
You know what I mean?
that's my point. That's why they're proprietary, and that's why you can't just stick a NVMe SSD in the PS5 and say you're good to go. No, it has to be the exact same, or it's not going to run right. It won't.
No,
It's impossible.
well, that's not what he said. He said, well, you're close, but that's not what he said.
I'm not
He
saying
said that there's nothing on the market, and there won't be nothing on the market even when it launches. They gotta certify and make sure that these can fit into the console and still be able to run because of the I/O throughput and all that stuff. It got to be able to handle all of that stuff because it's unique on how they built it, on how they built the PlayStation 5. Not the SSD, but the SSD as well. But the PlayStation 5 itself is built to utilize the SSD, so they got to be able to read and not get confused with it.
All right,
let's go back.
Well, no. Let's not go back. Let's not go back because we got two more topics I want to get, and then we're gonna get out of here. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, what I do want to say with this though, is that if what you're saying, if PlayStation is having a with their special SSD and they're going to have a deal with Epic, that means that PlayStation first party is going to go to PC.
Wait.
I mean, because like I mean, the way that it's always the way that a lot of PlayStation fans has been trying to come out and trying to make this out is that the Epic is they cater into the PlayStation 5, the SSD, this and that, whatever. So obviously, if you guys are going off of that stance, then obviously that PlayStation is going to be using more games to run off of Epic, which means Epic is going to try to work deals with Sony and try to get those first parties on their Epic store. Do you not agree with that? Because
No.
I mean, because they got their own engine. PlayStation has the Decima engine. So I mean, but you said there's only one game that uses that uses it, and that's Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn is already going to the PC. We already know that.
You talking about no. Several games use the Decima engine.
No, you said the Epic engine.
Oh, the
No,
Epic
you mean
5?
Days Gone.
Yeah, the
You mean
Epic.
Days.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm talking about Days Gone. Days Gone not going to PC.
Days. You saying Days Gone is not going to go to PC?
Horizon is ran by the Decima engine. Guerrilla
Okay,
Games
so
created the Decima. engine.
okay, so there's already Decima games that's already going on the PC. So
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding as well. Yeah,
Death
so
Stranding as well. Yeah.
right. So if you think that Epic didn't just want to come on there and use the PlayStation 5 because it's supposed to be whatever, I think that's misleading. I think what it is that they have a deal. They've even admitted that. Sweeney said that himself, that they got a partnership going, and I think it's beyond a third party, because we all know a third party. The games are going to just come out to be the same. They don't have time to make games look a certain way for the Xbox and a certain way for the PlayStation. They're all just going to be the same. So it has to be a first-party exclusive deal, and Epic is not going to pass up a chance to get a PlayStation game on their through their storefront.
No, I don't think that was the deal made. As far as, okay, I'm gonna put my game on your stuff if you show my PlayStation on that. No, they actually both won on just that demo, because Epic got to show their demo off in the best way that they felt that they could, and Sony got to show off what the PS5 capabilities were. That was a mutual deal. That deal was right then and there. It happened. It's already done. You don't need to put games on something. You already used your console to show off their engine. So it's like a win-win type deal there. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to make a deal with a third-party developer who makes the engine when they have their own engine, just so they can help somebody else make money off of their game. They're not going to do it that way.
But it's benefiting Sony as well. They have more people to buy their games. That's where they're going to start going this route.
That doesn't benefit Sony like it does Microsoft. Microsoft has
why not?
Because of Windows. Because they have a bigger company outside of the Xbox. PlayStation is Sony's biggest company. PlayStation brought Sony up from the dead. So they gotta keep that brand. They gotta stay on that throne that they have right now, that they have guaranteed billions every time they come out.
Okay, but did you
rather than go and fight everybody else?
But did you hear what Jim Ryan said himself in an interview that came out yesterday, where he was saying that the cost of games are going to go up? We want to, and also one of the other executives, I think I said that on your show, that said that that's the reason why they changed their name from PlayStation, from whatever it was to PlayStation Studios, is because they want to have more gamers understand where their games come from. If it's just only exclusive games, why would PlayStation fans need to know where it came from? That means to me, that's telling me is that they're expanding their first party portfolio over to other platforms.
Well, you're wrong because of that. Because they did the same thing 5 years ago, where they named it PlayStation Group or some shit like that. Like
I get that, but
with a trailer and everything, just like they did.
I
just
get that,
now.
but I never heard in any article or anything of them saying that they changed the name because they want other gamers to see where their games came from.
Obviously, gaming wasn't mainstream 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking Twitter and all that wasn't out like that 5 years ago. Think about the times and the information that we get now in comparison to 5 years ago.
So why would he make a comment like that if their games are going to be primarily on the PlayStation?
Well, their games aren't going to be primarily on the PlayStation. They got PS Now, and they're going to utilize PS Now and push PS Now to PC and cell phones like they've already done. I mean, they've done this.
So
they need to make downloads for that shit.
Well, they do need to make downloads for that. So, some of their first party is downloads. Some of their first party games are downloads.
It's going to be downloadable on their PlayStation, but they're going to have. They're going to have to stream if they put PS5s on there. Put PS5 games on there. Their best bet will be to stream it, because buying an SSD of this caliber on PC is going to cost God knows how much.
The games can still run off of the games will still run though.
It's not true. No, if they build, I'm talking about PlayStation games. PlayStation will definitely do and build their games.
So you telling me when these games get optimized for the PC, that there's no way that they can play and run off of the PC, even though games are made off of PCs.
No. Even if they come out with an SSD. And these games aren't made on a PC; they're made on a dev kit. I don't understand that part. There's PC involved, but there is dev kits for a reason. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
they're not gonna they can't. It wouldn't be good for them to put PS5 games on PC only because the SSD will cut off God knows how many PC players. So what they're going to do is they're going to have those games streaming on PS Now to where you don't need to worry about buying all that stuff.
How do you
Question?
change gaming if you're not games to be on every?
I said that's why PS Now exists.
Okay, so you're saying PlayStation
Doesn't
exclusive
make any sense.
on all the
You're not going to change gaming that way.
or what?
No, well, how come Xbox can do it? Xbox can do it, but not Sony. Amazon can do it, but not.
Yeah, but
No, but the thing is, Xbox doesn't stream their games. I was like, they're only testing stream. They're only testing streaming now with xCloud.
Cloud. That's why they're testing streaming so they can have it on platforms that.
But remember, no. But the thing is, the reason that they're streaming is they're going through their networking and all their data centers that they built across the world.
Right.
They have a way to relay that. Does Sony have a network system? No, they're using the Azure.
They're using Microsoft. Yeah, they're using
Azure.
Microsoft is fundamentally helping PlayStation stay on top. Because if they weren't, then they would just say, no, you can't use our shit. Fuck off.
No, because the fact that they're not helping them stay on top, they're making money by having them go through their server.
All right, hold on. Okay, this
If I have a data network and you come to me and say, hey, I want to use your data network to stream my service.
Yeah.
Am I gonna, no. Am I gonna let you use that for free? No. I'm gonna.
All right. Okay. Hold on.
So Microsoft is going to give them a cheaper price than Amazon. And my bad, K-Mega. They're going to give them they're going to give them a better price than Amazon, like they've already said. And then they're going to go on their stuff. And then Microsoft is going to help them stay on top by being on the same servers as xCloud. If they wanted xCloud to run some shit, they would be like, no, you need to go pay more at Amazon and hurt yourself.
See, but that's where
bloody, chill.
That's where you're wrong because of the fact that
bloody. Hold on, wait a minute. No, you hold on. I got to read this question and we're going to the next topic. I love to
say my point. All right, whatever.
Let me say this. Right. Let me just go ahead and do this point. All right. Predator. He says. Because we'll talk about this for the next 40 minutes to an hour. I'll let you finish your last point. I don't want to hear any more interruptions from anybody else, but I'm going to read this from Pred because he's asking this question to our guest. All right, so here we go. Predator says, how will external storage work with the PS5 if they need their special SSD to run games?
It won't work. That's the mistake on Sony's part. They should have. There's no external external SSDs that can do this at the moment. They're saying to replace the whole SSD. Lord knows how much that's going to cost. So it's a mistake on them.
Okay, next. Yes, next.
All right. Well, no, I want Bloody to finish what he was got to say, and then we're going to definitely move on.
Go ahead.
What I was trying to get at is that what they have done, both companies have done with the SSD, is beyond what we understand because of the fact that their engineers have absolutely built both SSDs from the ground up to work in their architecture and the velocity that what they're trying to work on, whether it be specifically for the silicone and motherboard and form factors that they're being built on. However, here's where it's different. Wow, you have the Kraken running for the PlayStation 5, and the way that it's able to put out such a large amount of data very fast through the transfer rates. They did give an upper limit of when it's boosted on how that data transfer is. While it is much faster and has a higher output than the Xbox Series X.
The velocity.
SSD. Hang on. No, there's not a bottleneck. The bottleneck that comes is specifically from the CPU. Here's where it's coming from, is that this is data transfer. When you would look at bottlenecks, quote unquote, on hard drives or anything, it would be because of the RPM speed of the hard disks, because of the fact that you would have laser etches in the disk that would have to be checked by an actual physical scanner to seek out that data. What makes SSDs different is that they are pure ones and zeros that is all digital and not on an analog disk.
Right.
So
we know
hang on. I'm trying to explain how actual hard drives work, because this is about seeking data information not about anything else, because it has to seek it and decode it. With
Right.
the fact that
The things are eliminated, right?
the SICK process is eliminated because of the fact that it's not seeking on a disk. It is
Right.
already digitized and ones and zeros, so it's faster to read the information. Now, you're talking about 2 hard drives that are solid state, so it's all digital, at very high gigabyte speeds a second. What would make the difference before is if you had 2 physical hard disk drives that had different RPMs at different speeds, would increase the SICK time because one would run slower and it would increase the time it would take. So if you had one hard disk drive that's at 7,200 RPM and one that was at 5,600 RPM, what would make the difference between the load times would be seconds. However, with both of these SSDs, you're talking about you're looking at 2 hard drives that are able to download and seek information by gigabytes. The variable difference in the time to load assets from both drives is going to be milliseconds, nothing that we would be able to see. It is not going to make a variable difference. And now you're talking about how they are building on dev kits. Yes and no. They build on PCs and test on dev kits, because when they test on dev kits, that gives them an enclosed capturing ecosystem to test the build that they're making specifically on PC to see if it'll work on that architecture.
Yeah, I didn't agree. I never disagreed. I said they use both a PC and a dev kit. Was I wrong on that statement?
No, you said that PCs are involved, but they do.
Well, was I wrong on that?
Yes.
I'm wrong that PCs are involved with dev kits.
No, you're
Well, hang on.
Oh, all right.
He may have said the way that it may have came out.
All right,
may
buddy.
have been
I said to do a rebuttal,
misinterpreted. But that's why I'm making
not
sure
a
to
sermon.
clarify all the information and present everything obvious. Now, I'm not denying what their SSD is going to be capable of, because it is going to have a very high it's going to have a very fast speed to be able to decode and seek out that information with what they're going to be doing. Now, however, the other aspect you have to take.
There's going to be no sticks.
No,
Okay,
I'm saying seeking. I'm saying seeking, not SICK. Not the SICK process. It still has to seek the data because it has to decode it. So it has to transcribe everything that's going, but at the speeds that they're decoding the information, it is going to be significantly faster than being on an actual platter that has to spin and have to use the seek process of having an optical magnet basically go over the disks. Now, the other aspect that you have to take into is any further hardware that is being built into both consoles. That's where what has been talked about is the BC compact block that's being used in the Series X, which is going to help with decompression. That's going to help decrease the amount of data that needs to be decompressed when it goes
You said
through.
you wanted to do
Now,
a rebuttal,
there
not
may
a
be
sermon.
something
Come on now.
similar on the PlayStation, but we don't know. We just know what the hard drive is capable of. Now, you're talking about how there is not going to be any sort of ability to be able to have an SSD that matches what the PlayStation could do. That is absolutely fact, because they stated that they have to, one, still figure out the size and expansion port that they want to use in the PS5 and find aftermarket SSDs that will match at a comparable speed. Because they're saying that nothing will be able to match its speed, but a comparable speed that will be able to run the games off that hardware and be certified by them. Whereas if you look at what Microsoft has done, they make their proprietary SSD and they collaboration with Seagate to make an expansion drive that
I know you
is
can hear me, Bloody.
distinct.
I'm gonna mute your ass. Now shit. Come on, man. I got you. You said you wanted to do a rebuttal. We don't want to hear a sermon. I got you. Much love, but I want to get on. I don't want to hear people complaining about the podcast. I don't want to hear the people complaining about the podcast going over 3 hours, but then we got to listen to 20 minutes of damn conversation. Either we're going to have a 3.5 hour podcast, or we're going to have a 2 hour or 2 hour and 15-minute podcast, and we got to limit how long we talk. Please. Okay? I got you. You killed it. You killed it. But we can't keep going on this. We got to choose which one are we going to do. If the listeners if they want it like that, that's fine. But I don't want to hear any more complaining about long podcasts if we got to listen to long ass damn speeches from any of us.
Mega, all right then. Yeah, I think you
Let's
made the
go.
point. Though. We should-
I just got to make my point. Like, come on.
I didn't hear the point. Good job.
My point is over with. All right, so let's talk about let's talk about The Last of Us. All right, so the trailer came out. I still haven't yet to see it yet. But I do. No, I didn't get to see it yet.
Man, listen.
Damn, what are you doing, bro?
What you mean? What am I doing? I've seen it for the last 4 years.
All
right, so
Nah, it's been downgraded, but it looked good.
Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. All right. So a big shout out to my boy Kevin. To Kevin sending me a chart. I will talk about that at the end of the show about The Witcher. There seems like there's been some misinformation going on, but let's go on to this, right? All right. So the question I got is something that Benji Sales brought up. He was saying that he noticed that like with God of War, Spider-Man, even with Ghost of Tsushima, they generated a lot of peak views, but The Last of Us, it only hit 98K, which is still good.
Man,
but
I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't even paying attention.
But he also said, what could this mean? So the question I'm going to have for you, for our guests, and I'm going to go to 100 next on this. And I definitely want to hear what Bloody got to say on this, because I know that that he enjoys the game. But what I want to know is this: what do you think it's The Last of Us fatigue? It's like so much. We've seen this game for years. From my understanding, that we still seen stuff within the trailer that was stuff that they showed from other parts of trailers. They just, what I'm saying? Is it could be fatigue and people just ready to play this game? We've been waiting for a whole, damn near the whole generation. So what is it, man? I mean, why is it that especially this is supposed to be PlayStation's juggernaut, the King of Kings? Why is it that it just didn't have concurrent numbers? And I'm not saying that it's not going to sell, but I mean, give me your thoughts on this. And what did you think about the trailer first off?
Well, the trailer was fantastic. It sealed its place in greatness with that one. But in fact, I was adamant on saying that the game was going to get about an 89, 86, just because of all the the anger that a lot of people were showing towards the game and the leaks and whatnot. But after seeing that trailer, it's up to like a 96, just because they showed.
It's going to be higher than God of War?
Yeah, it'd be higher than God of War for sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't say for sure, but I predict that it'd be higher than God of War.
Joel is going to get raped by that big old man. They're going to give him extra points for that one.
You know.
However you want to call it, nigga. Don't be spoiling, nigga. I don't know shit. That's the reason why. That's the reason why those view numbers are low, is because they want to avoid people spoiling it for them. You know what I'm saying? People they fucking cut off the comments and stuff for the past 3 things, just because people were just so disrespectful to gamers that they want to spoil the game that other gamers want to watch. I mean, if you spoil it for yourself, that's your choice. But I can't for the life of me get anybody calling themselves a gamer trying to spoil the game for other gamers. Spoil it for yourself, but don't take away the experience from other gamers. So it's like, to me, that's just disgusting. It was just the worst thing I ever seen. Part of the reason why I'm doing a podcast like I'm doing now, because it's the community need to get back together, bro. Because this shit right here this is not it. That's not it. But that's why I believe people aren't watching it, because they just don't want to get spoiled. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be fatigue too. I know a lot of people who told me that they don't want to watch it because they feel like if they watch too much of it, it's going to spoil it for them, because they don't want to see too much of what's going on. They want a game right now. Let me get it. I want to be surprised by everything. So it's both the spoilers from people and the spoilers from just watching too many trailers.
All right. Okay. All right. Great point. All right. 100. Now to you. What was your thoughts about the trailer? I mean, are you on the defense what Live was saying? Because I mean, I have been hearing, because like I said, I haven't seen it yet. That there was some kind of downgrade. I don't play the downgrade stuff. If it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. I don't care. But what was your thoughts about the trailer? I mean, was it
I'm gonna say this: the
yeah.
cutscenes, what it was doing at the beginning, showing that looked good. You know what I'm saying? When it went to gameplay, oh hell no! What the hell?
Oh, this nigga.
Here we
Jay?
go.
Still look good.
Wait,
We just didn't look
you
at it.
do know they use. Did you watch it on the
No,
4K? Did you watch the 4K version?
yeah, I watched it in 4K.
Oh, you tripping then? You lying a lot now, nigga. Like,
I watched it in
okay, go ahead. They don't use cutscenes. They don't do pre-rendered cutscenes. They use in-game. Let me finish.
Yeah, that's what
They use in-game cutscenes, bro.
Deja vu.
When they went to that border, that shit looked like the gameplay of Tomb Raider.
Bro,
Now, it ain't
they use in-game cutscenes.
No,
use
that was
pre-rendered
no in-game,
cutscenes.
nothing. That was straight cutscenes.
Naughty Dog.
And when
They use in-game cutscenes.
when that dude
you're
told
arguing
you,
two different points right now.
when that dude told
Yeah,
you,
I think you definitely.
More things whether it's in-engine or
he said this is never foreseen footage, and you've seen that cutscene. I mean, you seen that gameplay of her. You know what I'm saying? That was a downgrade from the cutscene all that action stuff that they were showing to the gameplay. Oh, that was totally different.
All right.
That was super downgrade. And like I said, I ain't got 2020 village, but I ain't got the
I'm
moment.
looking
You
at both right now.
know what I'm saying? It don't match. And the thing about it, it's nothing regular. The dude, now see, this is where we get on. Dude said this is the most realistic game that's gonna be ever made. What's realistic about it? See Laura Croft. She ain't got no training.
Wow.
What's realistic
Okay.
video game? But he used them. That's his words. That's drunk man's words. He was
Bruh.
that's his words. He said most realistic. That's out of his words. It ain't nothing realistic about that game. That game was just like Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider ain't realistic. Laura Croft does a whole lot of stuff. No,
You just compared this to
play. It's not
wait, you
realistic.
just compared The Last of Us to Tomb Raider, my guy?
Yeah, the last of them ain't got nothing on Tomb Raider.
That's rich.
My-
That's good.
I
That's
mean,
good.
100
I like
has the
that.
right
Wait
to
to
have
see
his
him
opinion.
fall. They got
Just like Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider is like in between The Last of Us and Uncharted. Uncharted is like way over the top, 2,000 people. It's mad crazy. The Last of Us way more grounded than Uncharted. That's why I like The Last of Us a lot better. I'm playing through Uncharted now. That shit is not. That's not it. I mean,
Uncharted is basically
Last
the
of Us-
Michael Bay of video games. It just tries to be
it's,
bombastic.
it's mad ridiculous, dog. He kills everybody. He don't go to a therapist. He just kill everybody. Start making it's just crazy. But the Last of Us to me is a little. It just makes more sense. Like everything sinks a little bit better. But maybe it's a little bit of a downgrade. But but it's very minuscule. Like I'm looking at it right now. I would say the one thing I noticed is clearer. The original, and that's probably because it was running on a dev kit. Maybe this is actually run on PS4. So the original the E3 demo we got was a little bit clearer. But it still pretty much looks the same. You know what I mean?
Live.
But the animation to me, what makes it shine?
What I said the other day. Live. What I've been saying for weeks. That
What?
game. They said indefinitely to make that game delayed because what they wanted to put that on the PlayStation 5.
That's not true.
But-
That's not true. That's not true.
They got
That is not true.
That's that they wanted. That's why they said indefinitely.
Yeah.
That's not true.
That's what
They said in.
You ain't,
They
they
said
ain't got nothing
Bro,
about
there's a pandemic that canceled every.
Man,
Oh
that
no!
no.
Don't use
Word
the
man.
pandemic. No,
No,
because when they said that they was going to drop the game, the pandemic was still going on. We still got a pandemic. It ain't left.
Halo coming out. We talking about stuff you can do from home. You know that
pandemic hasn't left, bro.
I have over 100 employees that work from home. That they
Why-
and I virtually.
Why you believe that they spent all these years working on this game to then delay it because they wanted
The
to put on
devs,
but
the
then they
devs
changed
said
their mind.
themselves.
Why? They changed their mind. Why?
Because of the leaks.
It was originally
The
supposed to
leak
come
of
out
the
February.
game. I want to leak the game to you, but I can spoil it for you.
The leaks is what did it. Come on, man. Let's be realistic.
What y'all believe in leak? What leak are y'all talking? Like what leak? You talking
Oh
about?
no! Don't do
the
please
spoiler
live.
leaks?
Nobody, do not say the leak. Do not say the leak.
The spoiler? Not the spoiler leak. Not the spoiler.
Yeah, that's why.
It's
Yes.
why would game on there?
So why would they? In fact, I believe it's already been proven that was wrong. It's already been proven by the people who have the game already that it's wrong.
They
But
even giving
still,
review copies to people.
still,
That's
the review copies are already.
They already got.
But even though that the review copies are out, they're not going to be able to talk about anything for a while. They have to
What they said, no, what people are saying is those leaks are untrue. The video ones, yeah, the video one's probably true, but the transcript leaks was false. It was on 4chan.
Either heavy on that.
No,
so it's like the transcript maybe, but I'm saying with how much was shown off in that hour of videos that everyone was talking about, that's going to be hard to kind of.
The transcripts.
But what is that got to do with the PS5 though? Like, why would they? Okay, because of that bullshit leaked. Now, let me put it out.
Well, because
hang on, let me put it this way, right? I was like, I don't think that it would have been specifically held back to be launched for the PS5, but I guarantee that this was going to be their cross generation game, just like The Last of Us 1 was, because that came out at the end of the PS3 life cycle, and then within a few years afterwards, after they launched the PS4, they did the remaster. And everyone who played the PS4 version said that this felt much better, it ran better, it played better, it was more secure. Hang on, yes, but everyone said that game was meant to be played on a PS4, not the PS3.
I was.
No, basically,
you can say
with the Zeldas.
You can say Red Dead Redemption 1 was meant to be played on an Xbox One X rather than a fucking Xbox 360. If that's the logic you're gonna go with, since it runs better, looks better. You know what I'm saying? But Red Dead Redemption 1 wasn't a remaster. Yes, if you haven't played it now, then yes, you absolutely should play it on the One X. But when you have a remaster on the next gen console and it feels and plays better, significantly more improved over the last generation, and a lot of people feel that it felt like it should have been on that generation from the get go. So what about Gears 1? What about Halo Master Chief Collection? Those games run better on the Xbox One. Were they made for the Xbox One?
That's not the point he's making. He's
trying to say those were remasters.
Those are remasters. It's like the.
But here's the thing: did those games come out at the end of a generation and were a cross-gen game? No, those came out. No,
You say
Halo 4
and Gears 1.
Halo 4 did, right?
Halo 4 came out at the end of the 360, but it never got a remaster.
It did Master Chief Collection, right?
No, it was updated.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh,
it was
okay. Okay, it was updated then. Fine. Whatever y'all want to believe. I'm not. I get it. All right, fine.
I mean, he's just saying that.
I'm the only one here. I'm the only one here who's trying to be ethical and.
No, I'm not.
Halo 4 was not remastered. Halo 4 was not remastered. It just took the power with the Xbox One.
So why did they sell it to you then, bro? Like
they told you because some people wanted the whole collection in one game.
Is Halo 4 backwards compatible?
No.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
is it better in the backwards compatible version than it is in the one and a half?
I think
the exact same.
No. Actually, it's better because they went in and made all the games 60 frames per second and running 4K.
Right.
Yeah,
that's he's right.
So then, what did they do to the last?
60
frames. So what did they do to the last?
No, original didn't go 60 frames.
It's just 4K. Oh, okay.
No, it was 4K on the 360.
And then the last
I know, man.
They're making you buy this shit
60, but
no, I'm asking. That's all. I'm just asking
right now.
Yeah, we're definitely getting off a point. We're jumping.
My bad.
We're jumping.
Yeah, because he be throwing out random games.
No, I mean random. I was just trying to match up what you guys were saying and give you guys an example.
I'll get lost too.
He was being fair. I threw out one, he threw one back, and it was fair.
But then it went left. Okay, so back to The Last of Us. Let's get back to that. So go ahead, Live. Finish what you was going to say.
No, I'm looking at it now. It's like I said, is it downgraded? No. If it is, I like what they did. I'll put it that way. It seems like they might have had this. Looks like it's like 1440p. But you get extra animations and stuff like that because the animation is undeniable. But again, this game is going to look way better on my PS5 than it does right now because the clarity is just not as clear as it was in the original. Now it might have been due to certain scenes because I think in the new demo it's a little bit more open. But like it's more outside and running around, so maybe that's why the resolution is like where when you're inside on these kind of enclosures. But the game looks good. I can't wait to play it. So I will be getting it day one. I'll pre-order it when I get a chance.
Okay. All right, anybody else
Yeah.
want to touch on this? Because I want to touch on one last topic, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. And I'm going to give it 15 minutes, and then we're going. So, so
The
if
way that
somebody
I
wants,
feel about The Last of Us 2 is that
yeah, go ahead.
despite how my previous points about how I feel that it was going to be their bridge title, from what I saw from their state of play, the cutscenes and what Naughty Dog has done with the game has always been impressive. The first one was very impressive. This one looks just as phenomenal. If there was any visual changes, obviously they were trying to optimize it for the hardware that they were using, because previously, they would be using as on dev kits or higher end PCs to basically produce for pre-rendered cutscenes. But what they showed gameplay wise and what the cutscenes will do, it is going to be a phenomenal game. I did enjoy The Last of Us 1 more than I did the Uncharted series. But with some of the improvements that they made gameplay wise with this game, they did make a lot. The comparisons with it to Tomb Raider are very accurate because they gave Ellie a grappling hook. They gave her the ability to swing, ability to rappel down up in areas and things like that. So she is a lot more versatile in her movement, with the fact that she's able to climb, jump, and aspects like that. It is going to be easily comparable to what was established in the Tomb Raider franchise. However, I think the one thing that makes it a little bit different is the fact of how the survival aspect of it between the humans and the infected plays out differently compared to Tomb Raider, which is mainly against other human targets and then occasionally animals. I was like, but I think that The Last of Us 2 will be a successful game. I think that there is fatigue. That's why there wasn't much, mainly because people have been wanting it. I was like, as you said, we've been waiting on this game for 4 years since we had the remaster come out, and then the expansion DLC that they did for Ellie's story with Left Behind. So I think more than ever, people are just really wanting to just finally get their hands on it, because already this year alone, it's been delayed by 4 months since it was supposed to be back in February.
You're gonna get a lot of
Megan, you
complaining
can
with
pay
this
some
game.
bills.
Yeah, no,
Wait,
I
what?
was just
I'm
waiting
gonna
until
get a lot
Bloody
of
got
hate.
done.
You're gonna get a lot of complaining because, like, man, the violence in this game is really like this junk is extreme, bro. Like,
It
Oh
is
no,
very
you have
I
a lot
like
of people.
the state of
You have
play.
a
Like
lot of people
they
saying,
really did go all in on it.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's for grown-ups, bro. I mean, like,
no, I'm
it
not.
is what it is.
Listen, I'm not against it. I'm just saying that it's
No,
gonna
I mean, if
be
there's
about.
anything that
Be
got
ready.
me, if there's anything about the game that piques my interest, is the fact of the violence aspect. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's a,
Mhm.
I mean, the only thing
Everything
they
else,
stopped short of is cutting off
I
dicks.
wasn't a
That's
fan of
about
the
it.
first one,
Everything,
and
everything
I'm not
else is a
interested
joke.
in this one. But it is a great looking game, a lot of detail. But it's just not something I care about. Ghost of Tsushima's like I said, Ghost of Tsushima's the last PlayStation game that I'm getting. I'm not worried about The Last of Us.
I'm
Now I'll
debating on
play
that
it.
one. That one,
I'll
it
play it
might
if
be
I get the
boring,
hookup or
man.
something. But I am not worried
It's
about The
gonna be a
Last of
test.
Us.
Hey, nothing wrong,
So,
with that, bro. I
right.
wouldn't play I wouldn't play Gears 5 or fucking Halo if they paid me. So I feel you on that.
Nah, I
Yeah.
feel
So
you
I
on
mean
that, man. I mean,
that's gamers'
yo,
preference. Let me pay the bill.
listen,
Lie.
I'll
Let
be
me
okay.
Let me pay the bills. All right. So Fierce, he said, I got Fierce Play XO. Okay, I got you. He says, I got a strike on my Twitter account by Sony Naughty Dog over a helpless meme just just a few days ago. Because of because of this shitty antics, I will never buy The Last of Us 2. So Sony, from the
Greetings.
bottom of my heart, you can gargle my nuts. I got you,
Yo.
bro. No, I mean,
Wait for it to
I
hit
think that's another
PlayStation
thing
now.
too. I think that's another point. Slayer, you can go ahead and follow him on,
All right, so
and then I'll get to what's calling this too. Op, don't
okay.
I ain't forgot about you, Op.
Gargle the nuts. Listen,
well,
man, I too feel like you, K Mega, that I'm not too interested in the game. Even if it was on
Yeah.
Xbox, I really. It's just me. It's not the game. The game looks dope.
Yeah.
The whole this whole discussion about the downgrade thing, you know, that's how it goes nowadays. The only real example that I've ever seen this generation, honestly, was Watch Dogs.
Mhm.
And you can see that in some other games here and there. That's debatable, but that was the one clear example.
Yeah,
Everything else,
no, it ain't no watchdog.
yeah.
Crackdown 3. Crackdown 3 for sure.
Crackdown 3 wasn't even the same game, dog.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, exactly. That's worse than the downgrade. That motherfucker.
They showed somebody else's game.
If you want to talk about a game that was severely downgraded and over tried to do what it said that it was going to be capable of, the real culprit this generation alone would be Watch Dogs.
Yeah, Watch Dogs. So anyway, listen. So I just want to say this.
Still paying for that one.
Yeah, Ubisoft's still paying for that one. It's unfortunate because the second game was really good. But anyway,
the second game is dope.
All right. So I just wanted to say on that tip that Fierce just said on his comment there, of all things, and I hope everybody can agree on this. We need these companies to stop with this bullshit where they're just trying to censor everybody. Nintendo is, I would say, the worst of it. Number 2 would be Sony. But there's been some other examples from Ubisoft, EA, and what have you. But Nintendo and Sony are the 2 worst of it.
Oh, Ubisoft, that shit in Rainbow Six Siege, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, they've done. But long story short, it's a problem in the industry. It doesn't matter who's doing it. Like, yo, keep the fanboy wars out of this one. This is just a stupid thing in the industry we don't need. And basically, what's going on is we're looking at these. Jesus Christ. We're looking at these games, and then, people, information might get leaked or whatever. And, just like with the whole talk of the pandemic, now we're on Mixer, although, in the show is now on Mixer behind, that same kind of methodology. Like, you can't even talk about something without lawsuits your way or just cease and desist and DMCA. Yo, they're so crazy with that stuff. Nintendo, Sony, whoever, Ubisoft, whatever. It's these lawyers. They're just looking to justify their paychecks, and they do it so bad. They just do it not even looking. It's like it's like a 3-year-old with a gun who's in action movies was playing in the background, and they're just emulating what they saw on the TV, and they're just spraying everybody. Okay, because they even took down their own video on YouTube, their own Sony official preview video of their game. This is a problem that needs to end, and now. It shouldn't have never. This is just retarded. People can't even speak on something where they're not talking about the leaks. They're just like, oh, a new trailer came out. It looked dope, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you're getting, a cease and desist. Okay, the company themselves put the video out and they put a cease and desist on themselves because their lawyers don't know what the hell they're doing. This is not a new thing. This is not just a Sony thing. Once again, I must repeat. Nintendo is the most egregious of it. They've done it to themselves more than once. And I wish this would just end. Because this is just stupid. This is some
That's wild.
childish bullshit. But anyway, let's move on.
Go ahead and finish what you're gonna say, and then I'll go to you for the last topic. And we only got 15 minutes. Like I said, we're gonna wrap this shit up. So
yeah,
what were you gonna say about
the gameplay looks dope. I will say that they definitely improved it from what I'm seeing compared to the first game right now. Is it revolutionary? No, I wasn't really expecting anything revolutionary, but they did make a lot of significant improvements and added more depth to it as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Though, me personally, like I said before, I'm not going to buy it. I don't see myself buying this game. Maybe someone gives it to me, or maybe Redbox or that some shit like that. I don't know, but I will definitely enjoy to watch people stream that shit.
Well, you already know that I'm going to stream it, so.
Oh yeah, I'm watching that shit too.
Yeah. Me and Bloody.
Yeah, so I mean, Bloody gonna get it, so
like
that means
40
I'll
minutes
play
of
it. I'll play it. I'll get it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And I got Ghost of Tsushima, so yeah, so that's how we'll work that deal. Because
my issue is like for some reason the Night Dog and some other developers are really late to adding mechanics to their games. And we're talking about mechanics that have been a thing for almost over a decade at this point now, but people are hyping up the Night Dog doing Ellie has a decade jump button, and people are excited about that. I'm like, it should have been nerfed in the first game.
I think to be honest, I think if you look back at the first game was way more story and a lot of you know what I mean? It was a little bit more low budget. So they put more money into this one.
Well, yeah,
low budget. Wait.
Yeah, because you got to understand everything in the first one played like a Gears of War 1 kind of You kind of just ran to this
What?
area where it was boxed out.
Clickers the Gears of War what, bro?
No, I'm not talking about. No, you had way more enemies in Gears of War, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, I'm talking about like the way that the maps were designed. Like it would be like if you were playing Gears multiplayer. Like that's basically how the game was kind of structured. Like, all right, you come in here and maybe you got like 5 enemies here, and then this one you got 20. I think that the most of they don't really throw as many enemies in The Last of Us at you as they do in Uncharted. They just basically make you have limited ammo.
Well, you play on
And
ground if they got quite a few enemies, but they like one kill, one shot.
now,
kill
well,
you on
yeah, they want
Maybe it's due to the hardware as well. I mean, you can only have so much on the screen at one time back in those days. Wasn't even a teraflop back then, you know.
Yeah,
So
well, I mean,
it
but
could be that too. It wouldn't necessarily budget. Could have
not
been just
because I mean, technically, PlayStation was stronger than Xbox.
yeah, it was,
360 and 360 had like way more
but it still wasn't as strong as the
enemies
PS4.
on.
You know what I'm
Like
saying? We talking about
Gears
the
had way
PS4.
more enemies than like Uncharted. I mean, The Last of Us. You know, I think it's more. I'm telling you, I think it's more because even Uncharted, the Uncharted games had way more enemies. They basically ran out of like some invisible door and just kept.
All
All
right,
right,
cool.
for sure.
All right, let me get on to the last topic and then we'll knock this out. Okay, so Op, I'm finna go to you first on this. Now, it's quite funny to me because all of a sudden I keep hearing PlayStation fans, and I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on this, Thrash. But
Back compat.
yeah, about back compat. I keep hearing PlayStation fans talking about back compat is not it. Who cares about playing old games? They're playing the old sentiment that Yoshida used to say, who got demoted. And then they also bring up the thing about now they're on this other tip about frontwards backward capability because Sony is kind of now downplaying that and kind of making it seem like it's a bad thing.
Oh yeah, they completely go to their website. They completely took out back.
Yeah, I know.
They
They
don't
took
know
it
about
out. First, but then yet you keep constantly seeing from PlayStation Push
That's
Square,
weird, bro.
from their magazine, from everywhere else that
That's fucking gonna suck, man.
PlayStation fans are completely freaking out because they are anticipating and they're hyped for backwards compatibility, and that they're hyped for Sony to do some sort of smart delivery. So, Op, please explain to me why is it that there is a small group of people that try to overtalk for what the PlayStation fans actually want, and why Sony is backtracking on so many of these things that they were supposed to offer?
Well, it's really the same idiots we always run into when it comes to these kind of discussions at this point. Like, they take whatever narratives are convenient and help push their narrative forward, and just run with it at that point, no matter if it'll cannibalize what they said previously at this point. But I think the bigger issue is how, I guess, inconsistent Sony has been around backwards compatibility right now. Because like a couple months ago, they touted having to have a significant number of backwards compatible games available at launch. And they clarified that later on, saying like that's what they're aiming for at this point.
Yeah.
And now we're now at the point where they redacted that claim from the website concerning PS5 at this point. And we have Jim Ryan, I guess, doubling down on his stance about how they feel about the next generation games, and how they feel about next generation period at this point. So, me personally, I think they're probably going to run the same shit they did with the first Last of Us, where like they release on the original console, they have remastered for going to the next generation at this point. Because that's for me, honestly, that's what it looks like at this point. They're pretty much rolling back what they're saying previously right now, because they tell it backwards compatibility. They said it's going to be a feature, and now they're rolling back on their claims at this point. So me personally, it looks like they're not really interested in doing smart delivery with their games right now. They might just try to do remasters again because that's been very lucrative from the past. I will understand them doing that, but it's real sleazy and it's real grimy for the fan base at this point. Because regardless of what people say, there's a lot of people out there who want backwards compatibility for their PlayStation, not just PS4 games, PS3 games, PS2 and PS1 definitely at this point. So this is like, it's sad that they're going through this right now. Hopefully they don't roll back on backwards compatibility, but right now it looks like they are. But we gotta wait and see. But like, I hope they don't. I hope they really do try to be more dedicated and try to put the best foot forward with backwards compatibility, because it is a tremendous feature right now. Like a lot of devs, they downplay it, saying it's gonna hurt their margins at this point. Look what we saw to happen. Think of one. The craziest one was like either the previous GTA or like the Red Dead Redemption 1, where like the sales are shot like what?
And the Call of Duties.
Yeah, like the sales, like percentage like shot over 100%, like over 1,000 at that point for some of these games for going backwards compatibility. So like, there's definitely a market for them at this point. So in my eyes, it makes no sense not to, I guess, really makes no sense for me not to just have this feature for your console going forward. because there's definitely a lot of people going for it, even if it's free or it's not. Like from like it's just to be honest, it's just to me like because even if people didn't play the games previous on the previous generations, they can buy in on a new console because it's backwards compatible is available to at this point. So that's more sales at this point. Because let's be honest, not everybody buys a game when it first comes out and they forget about it. It falls to waistline after a couple months or after years right now. So they see it available again on the next generation, they'll probably buy it at that point. And that's more money generated for Sony at this point. So there's really no downsides to BC on the console right now. So hopefully, I'm just going to wrap it with this. Hopefully they do go for a basketball compatibility. But right now, it's looking like they're not going to. And I am worried about that.
All right, good point. I'm gonna leave you for last. 'Cause I want to get a PlayStation's perspective, gamers' perspective on it. Thrash. So I'll see. I'll save the. They usually say the best for last, but yeah, no, I'm just fucking with you. No, we'll let you have it the last. No, I'm just. I ain't gonna dis. No, I'm just playing with you. No, I want to hear your perspective, but I want it to be last, so to let everybody else get what their thoughts out on it.
Yeah, no problem.
PK. What is your thoughts on this, man? I mean, why is Sony doing all this backtracking, even though they're hearing that the overall PlayStation fan base is excited about smart delivery and about backwards compatibility? I mean, and it's like what I've said. Jim Ryan said in that article yesterday that look, they want to stay committed to PlayStation 5 and they care about generations. So what's going on here, man?
So he kind of touched on it a little bit. So it's like this. There's a combination of things. One, licensing. Kind of like how we can't play the Ninja Turtle games from the arcade on 360 or Scott Pilgrim. Licensing is the thing. You got to pay to pay the license to be able to play those games on another piece of hardware. The other part is, even for the first party titles, is it makes sense to resell you the same game. It makes sense to have people double dip because people are, if you resell them and say this is a remastered and all it is you just maybe clean up some graphical things here and there, it's not really a remaster, they're going to buy it. Same thing with Last of Us, same thing with Persona, same thing with anything else that was a PlayStation 3 title, but they sold it as a PS4 title instead of making it backwards compatible. So they're not interested in doing backwards compatible, not because it's not possible, but because it's more money in reselling you the same game. So goes to all the games came out this year, including Final Fantasy VII, could be resold again on a PS5 as a separate title and not backwards compatible. And that's why they originally said.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
That's why they originally said selected titles will be backwards compatible. So that's what they originally said, but they're not advertising it. So they're not really sure about the direction of how they want to go about that either. So there's a combination of things. That's all it is.
All right. 100. What's your thoughts about this, man? Why does it seem like PlayStation is backtracking on features that are consumer friendly?
I thought that Kemp didn't like backwards compatibility games. Remember they said who want to play old games. Now, when they heard, oh, it's going to be this, it's just going to probably be PS4 games. Probably going to do kind of like with Xbox, because you can't get every game on there because it's licensing deals. Maybe it makes the PlayStation 5 sound like a space shuttle.
I hope you finish chewing what you eating.
No, good as hell. No, but I'm just saying.
Trying to take my
time. It's
I know, right?
It's not well, it's not a what you call it. My thing is they PK was right. They're gonna resell you the thing again. It's not gonna be like how Microsoft said you buy it once and Sony can't afford that. Sony needs that buck. Since Sony gonna say it's gonna play better on the PlayStation 5, they ain't gonna sell you another $60 game because if you look at the stats, they did that last gen. We were playing PlayStation 3 games, then you go get a super remastered with all the DLC for $60, and people are going to buy it. So that's it, to me is I like backwards compatibility games because I like everything all in one. That's why I like what Xbox is doing. It's not leaving no one behind. Every game that I own comes right along with me when I get an X. Sony hasn't talked about that yet. Maybe they talk about this Thursday, and they break down. I remember Mark Cerny said not all games, but he said the top 20.
No, he said top 100.
Top 100, yeah.
Games what was going to be, and they was going to roll them out. So that's why you don't see every Xbox game, 360 game or OG Xbox game backwards, because a lot of it's doing with licensing deals. So, or people that owned it probably wanted to sit there. Oh, this is Microsoft. They want to put this game, and they want to hit them over the head. It's different. It's different things to this stuff. But people thinking that they was going to get PlayStation 1 games, PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 3 games.
Gamers room.
Yeah, I heard my good brother, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes he be off the wall. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hip Hop Game. I met him last E3. He cool cat.
Oh yeah, he cool dude. He cool dude.
Yeah,
he
cool.
said PlayStation 1, 2, 3. I was like, it's on and popping. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, and I say 3. Everybody, a lot of tech people say 3 is kind of hard because of the self.
Absolutely hard.
Yeah, because of the cell processor.
Well, the biggest thing about that was the factor that not only was it the cell processor that development was hard for it, is the fact that they had trouble emulating the software that they had for that on the PS4. They said that it would be easier to emulate a PS2 on a PS4 than it was to be a PS3. So you had to wonder with the PS5, it would be easy to emulate a PS4 software, since that one is set the basis for how they're going to improve with the PS5's ecosystem and things like that. But would it still be an issue to emulate the PS3?
What they got to do is hire Microsoft's ninjas and then have them over there and help them with that PS3.
Nah, those tech niggas are very busy. Them emulation tech niggas, they real busy right now. So that ain't gonna happen.
They can rent them out for a weekend.
Nah, man, they busy enough, man. Microsoft need them all to themselves, bro. That's not really gonna happen with all the work they got.
But I wouldn't. I kind of agree with Live though that yeah, sure, I get that they're very busy, but if they were wanting to find someone who knew how to create emulations,
not happening. That's an advantage for the competition.
It's either hang on. I was about to say they'd have to pay something good, or at that point they need to start hiring all those hackers to build emulation software for PlayStation games.
Like Bluepoint Games who have done much of this work for Sony and others before in the past. So, Microsoft has their emulation tech niggas, to emulate their.
What's going on? Slayer, what's going on, man?
What?
You getting hood on me all of a sudden? You getting nerd hood on me?
Oh well. Hey, bro, what can I tell you? But either way,
I got you.
So,
I got you. All right.
Microsoft has these emulation dudes out there. They can emulate the 360 and Xbox One. So, the reason why there's a very limited supply of these games backwards compatible for those first 2 Xbox platforms is not only the licensing, but the emulation itself isn't easy to emulate, especially the original Xbox One. Every game they have tech issues that they deal with. They've talked about that before. The 360 to a much lesser degree, but yeah, there too. But there's also licensing. But if you notice with the Xbox One, the hardware being so similar to the One X and now the Series X, they're able to do that where every game works. And if it doesn't, the game is usually because of licensing, not because it could not work. But you got to look at this in 2 ways. There's remakes and there's remasters, and usually the age of the game depends on what you're gonna get. You have the Uncharted collection, remaster, Final Fantasy VII remake. It's in the name, remake. The older the game is, the more work they got to do to make the game look up to snuff, right? You look at Saints Row, that's on the camera right now, that's on the screen right now. That's not that old of a game. So what they really do, it wasn't even the textures, it was the bump mapping,
well,
whatever.
You're behind right now. This is blue.
Yeah, so I'm seeing that now. They kind of look similar, but
Blue
yeah, you're right.
That's what this
Blue Estates, right?
Yeah,
but just before that was Saints Row.
Yeah. Yeah, my
Yeah.
gameplay.
So
You know what I'm saying? Winning gameplay. That's all we need to now talk about.
okay, but you were missing a lot of shots in this one too. I remember. There you go.
Hey man,
missing
this
shots
game
again.
ain't easy to aim and guide with a controller, with a mouse and keyboard.
Either way,
You
we
go
going
in.
left. Let me finish what I'm saying.
All
Let me
right,
finish what I'm
all
saying.
right. Go
So,
ahead, go ahead.
so, God damn it, you made me lose my train of thought again. I hate you so much, man. I hate you so much. But either way, okay.
Hang on.
Remaster.
Yeah.
Remaster. Right. Thank you. So, yo, when you look at The Last of Us 2 with all the delays and stuff, you know what it reminded me of? Nintendo and the Zelda games that they had. I think it was Twilight Princess between the GameCube and the Wii. And I called this way back then, and I think they did it once again this generation with this Zelda that launched with the Switch. All right, they did it again. They have a Zelda game. Everybody's anticipating it. It's supposed to be the swan song for the system. And what happens? It gets delayed. Then it gets delayed again. Who cares about the reasons and what reasons they had to delay it? But eventually you start to think, yo, you know what they're going to do? They're going to release the game twice on the old system going out and the new system. And you think they'd give you some kind of ticket or tag or something you buy. You know, Sony did that at the end of last generation with a couple of games. You know, they gave you some kind of key code or whatever it was. I forget how they did it, but they, you know, that they took care of you to a certain degree, right? So, you know, I don't know if Last of Us was one of those games. I don't think it was, but I can't name any games off the top of my head that they did that with.
Call of Duty and Battlefield 3.
Call of Duty and Battlefield 3. Yes, they did. Thank you. So
Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4?
Battlefield 4.
Battlefield.
Yeah,
It
couldn't be Battlefield 3. It had to be
3.
Battlefield 4.
Yeah, it was Battlefield 3 and then Call of Duty Ghost were the big games.
Battlefield 4 was good.
It came out. Battlefield 4 came out not too long right after that. After
Right,
3, because 3 was already out. 3 was already
Right.
out on 3. Battlefield 4 never came out on PS3.
Yeah, right.
So it was Battlefield 3.
Right.
Okay.
He's right about it, and that's exactly the reason why.
See,
he's right.
okay. I didn't know that it didn't come on the PlayStation 3.
Right.
Battlefield 3 didn't come out on the PlayStation 3.
It did.
No.
No, it did. It did.
Oh.
But they gave a little. They gave you like 6 months to download it. After 6 months, it wouldn't be downloadable. You have to buy it again.
Yeah, but if that's still cold blooded, they should have did that with 4.
Right. So the point I'm making is, either way. So the point I'm making is, Xbox. You see how they're doing. Okay, as I discussed before with you, K-Maker, to make the distinction, smart delivery is how they're going to bring it over. Right. That's a technology that lets the system know what version to download. But the fact that there's multiple versions is the key right there. And I still see you missing shots. Basically,
I'm popping them. I'm popping their ass. Okay, look. Before you get into your sermon, I'm gonna go ahead and skip you so we can get on out of here. Come on.
All right. So basically, Xbox.
Worry about my gameplay. Where's your gameplay?
Don't worry. So
okay.
Microsoft has these games. You already know it's not cool that a game that at the very end of the generation, all of a sudden you're gonna sell a later version. When they should have just been backwards compatible. Okay, we're not asking for extras, at least be backwards compatible. But you see what Microsoft's doing. They're giving you the whole kit and caboodle. Not only will the game be backwards compatible, but when the developer has the time, because not every game will do this at launch, the game will be packed with better textures to take advantage of the new hardware that's on to perform better, to do better, okay? Sony may or may not do that, but they don't make this clear. And it's been way too much time. This is something that should have been clarified long ago. And in the beginning of next month, when they had this the showcase, hopefully they show off the system and they clarify more of these things. Okay? Because I think it's very disingenuous to like release a game this late in the generation and don't have an upgraded version, or to have an upgraded version and have to rebuy it all over again. That's not cool on the PC. It's now not cool on the Xbox, and it shouldn't be accepted on any other platform going forward.
All right.
That's the point I want to make.
All right. So look, I mean, I'm sorry, Bloody and PK. You know what I'm saying? Your time's going to be very limited because Slick wanted to give a sermon, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to give you a
sermon. Wow.
Anyway, so
can I get in here before?
You was talking. I thought you was okay. Go ahead. Say what you got to say, live. Go ahead. You was already talking.
What I'm saying is the whole argument we have seen PlayStation 4 going into has been PlayStation 4 gamers will not move to Xbox because they have a backlog, and who's gonna leave the backlog? right? Aside from the whole, who cares about old games and stuff like that. But the argument before was like when they said that PlayStation was going to have backwards compatibility, which they do of sorts, right? The argument was who cares about old? I mean, who cares about damn it, I'm
Old
mixing up
games.
my
Who
shit.
cares about
The
old
the
games?
yeah. So the whole thing is like, all right, if you're saying that who cares about old games, then that whole argument saying that who's gonna leave their games and move to Xbox, kind of like you just canceling that out because even though the games are there, like bro, like I'm gonna have ugly games. Like I have GTA 5. I don't play that shit because it looks fucking blurry as shit. Like I mean, some people could just play through it and they don't give a shit. You know what I mean? But me personally, I just look at it every time I look at that shit. I'm like, man, this goddamn 1080p
That
fucking
might be the
fuzzy ass
reason why I don't
screen.
play the online at all, because
Yeah,
that
it
reason.
looks
Yeah,
fuzzy as
yeah,
shit. Like
yeah,
it
yeah.
just bothers
That was a good
me
point.
to no end. That's why I know I play for 30 minutes or so, and then I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna play. Can't deal with this shit. You know what I mean? But if you tell me on Xbox and moving forward, and hopefully on PlayStation, we don't know, maybe not. That you're going to be better looking versions of games that the devs don't. We don't have to wait for the devs to go in and fix up. See, that's the important thing. Because yes, it's great when the devs do go and fix it up and make it pretty. But what about the games that they can't do it or they're too busy to do it? Feel me? It's like it's still nice to be able to get those games that we still want to play, and get a better looking version. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. Is that the end all be all for why you buy a console? No, I wouldn't say so, but it's definitely a way to keep somebody on your console. Because shit, I got so many games. If my daughter ever decides to picking up game, at least she doesn't have to pick up the shitty version I played like 10 years ago. She gets a nice crisper version of it. I don't see any issue with that because Lord knows a lot of the games that we play. What if we only had the terrible version moving forward? That's like or the version from like 10, 15 years ago. That should be terrible. I mean, I just think that it's a nice service to have. It's not like they're doing it out the kindness of the heart. It's all about ecosystem. So it's not just for people that have been here, but like everybody new who's coming to an Xbox, right? They get to experience games that we've already played a better version. Yes, because contrary to popular belief, people are born every day. So it's not just motherfuckers who've been playing consoles from when we were playing consoles being recycled throughout, buying all these consoles. Yes, new people come in and old people leave. They either die or they just move on to something else. So I'm just saying,
That's no
like,
taxes, huh?
yeah, I'm just saying it's nice. It's a nice option to have. I think people they tend to think that it's like 250 and that number is never going to change. You know what I mean? Like this shit is opening up. You can have it streaming and all kinds of shit. So
Right.
preserve your games, bro.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. Bloody, go ahead. Say what you got to say.
I think he fell asleep.
Yeah, he sleep after all them sermons, boy.
All
Knocked out.
right, so I'm gonna
Thank
go
you for
ahead and
clarifying who had this
I'm gonna go to
game.
I'm gonna go to PK. All right, PK, make it count because I gotta go do. He's got the last point. So other than me, of course, because the host can go ahead and do the sign outs and say what he got to sneak a little jab or two. Anyway, all right, PK, what you got to say?
I already spoke on this topic, so you can
Oh,
skip
did
me.
you? Oh, okay, so all right. Since Bloody is absent, here we go. I cannot wait to hear this. What's going on, Thrash? Why is it that your PK, I said PK, your PlayStation brethren is excited for it? The numbers are out there. People have been they're clamoring for it. You see reports of people, of articles from PlayStation Square on forth that's talking about like, look, they expect this. They expect PlayStation to have some sort of smart delivery. It's not only important to Xbox fans, but it's just important for gamers in general. It's a service that's valuable. Or do you have a completely different outlook on this?
I mean, I'm listening to y'all like, wow. Oh, wow. First off, I mean, the Push Square article is based on a picture that's on Reset Era, and they themselves, which they say in that same article, cannot find because they found out that it's due to a goddamn error. All right. The outrage was about it saying that you got to do a system update to do to play back the back catalog of PlayStation 4 games, which that has been taken down because it was a mistake. But they still put that beautiful, awesome title to get people to click on and talk about their shit. That's why that shit only got 3 likes and 251 comments, because there is just so many people who are like, what the fuck are you talking about? As far as the backwards compatible with the PS5, y'all got to understand that there are 3 modes. There's a PS4 Pro mode, there's a base PS4 mode, and then there's a PS5 mode in the PS5.
Are you talking about the legacy stuff? The legacy?
Yeah.
The
No,
chip?
that would be the backwards compatible.
Bro, but those things don't. There's no enhancement.
Oh, wait, let me.
that we know of.
Hold on,
Okay.
hold on.
You're right. My bad. I did. All right, go ahead.
All right. Now, that's backwards compatibility within itself, right? But you guys are talking about the upgrade, and that's what Mark Cerny had talked about. And when he said the 100 games, and they clarified and said the vast majority of games will have these enhancements. It's just that when Cerny said just the 100, he said he was talking about the top 100 that they are looking at to make sure that they got. But by launch, that number is going to be vastly improved, and it's going to continue to improve depending on the game. And I also think that people are not realizing that, like, the games that are going to get upgrades are the games that aren't locked to something or in a dynamic resolution state, to where say like Halo 5, it was a dynamic resolution game, and they put it on the X and it locked at the highest resolution that it can go. I think it was 4K. So or I think it was 4K. I'm not sure, but I know it depends on if it's a dynamic resolution, and it depends on if it's unlocked frames per second. So any game that has locked frames or a locked resolution, you're not going to see nothing but fast load times. That goes for all systems. It's always been that way, always will be that way. I don't believe that the PS3 games will come. PS2 games might, PS1 might, but it will be through, more than likely they're going to be pushing PS Now with that shit in the first place. Same thing with Xbox. Its old games like the Xbox One, the Xbox 360 games will be emulated, and the Xbox One games will be true backwards compatible. There's a difference between backwards compatible and emulated games. A no game is backwards compatible. Only systems are, because the system can only be backwards compatible. When you're emulating it, you're emulating the game to be forward compatible. So they just say back compat just because I guess it's simpler, or I don't know what the fuck, but that's the true meaning of backwards compatible. Really is the system and its ability to be compatible backwards to the last generations or whatever. The PS3 was backwards compatible with the PS1 and the PS2. You know what I'm saying? And when they took out the PS2 back compat, it was still fully backwards compatible with the PS1 games. So, as far as Sony, what Sony people say, I'm one of those who don't give two shits. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't care, because I mean, if it's there, it's nice. I think it's nice. It's been nice on the PS2. It was nice on the Wii. It was nice. It's nice, right? I like it. It's good, but it's just something that Sony fans aren't excited about, because we're playing these very games right now. We're more excited about seeing next generation games than playing next generation of the games that we got this generation. I think it's more exciting to see and play next gen games than to, on my next gen console that I just paid $500-$600 for, to then go back and play the old games that I already owned just last week. You know what I'm saying? On another console that played all of them. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's updated or not, a garbage game is a garbage game.
Both, though.
I just said that it's great. Yeah, I'm just not
Saying, why
excited.
can't you be excited?
The same,
It's
the same.
thing. You're saying like either or. It's like either you're excited playing something new or you're excited playing something old.
No, I'm not saying that.
I can still want to play the next,
And that's
Fable
fine.
or the next Last
Yes.
of Us, whatever.
Uh-huh.
At the same time, I can still be just excited to play Splinter Cell at 60 frames per second. I don't see why I have to choose.
I'm just telling you
That's what I'm
why
saying.
PlayStation fans are telling you that they don't give two shits because it's there already. Like these games are available to play already right now. If
Yeah,
they're
but
going to
we're
be
all playing the same games, huh?
right, we are.
I'm
But
playing on
but next,
PlayStation 2. I'm playing the same games you're playing.
exactly. But
So I'm
that's
just,
not the
but I'm
point.
still
The point is,
excited to play something that I played already. That it's a fan favorite. That bro, when's the next Splinter Cell we get? I haven't
right,
heard anything. But
and there's
I would
nothing.
like to play it.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with
Stages.
it. I'm just saying that I'm more excited. I didn't say I wasn't, or I don't care. Me personally, I don't give a fuck. I mean, if I want to go back and play a game and it's higher resolution and frame, fine, I'll play it if I feel like playing that. But I'm more excited, way more excited to play next generation games that utilize this new power and this new features on this new console than a game that is barely going to utilize it. You know what I'm saying? It's more exciting to see the next generation of games than it is to play this generation games on the next generation
Look,
console.
man.
All
Look,
right,
if you have a classic, there's a reason why it's called a classic, bro. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the next one. But guess what? If somebody tells me they're gonna watch Coming to America, I'm down to watch that too.
I get
I'm not
that.
gonna be like, no, fuck that. It's
You know what trips me out about Xbox guys is that you guys change your argument too much in order to fit. And the reason I say that is because
how is it changing?
Let me tell you. No. Let me explain. Let me explain because you'll understand when I explain it. Like 1 second, you guys are talking about we hate PlayStation games. Not all of you. I'm not saying you as individuals, but Xbox consensus.
Live, let them talk.
Say they dislike PlayStation games because they're one and done games. Multiplayer is king. One and done games are shit. They're fucking garbage. But you guys are the same people who are pushing backwards compatible games and saying that those same one and done games are backwards compatible, and now I'm ultra excited about that.
Nah,
Like I just know that argument.
You're mixing me.
You're
with some other dude
changing.
that-
Yeah, you're changing. Whoa.
Not you. I'm saying the consensus.
You're mixing up people. That's what I'm
Live,
saying. Like you're
live, guys. Okay, let him have his last point. I will say
it doesn't
this.
make any sense, man.
I know he's changing the
Be
conversation.
like, yo, I can't stand the racist stuff Barack Obama says.
But again,
the hell? Like, bro,
but
talking about Donald Trump.
but interrupted. But hold on, live. Damn, chill. But when you interrupt him and then get him off his point, he's going to change. And instead of keeping him focused on what the actual point is, so we can get the hell out of here. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Let me dig my hole.
Yeah. Let him dig his hole. Let him dig his hole. All right. So go ahead. Briefly, go ahead and finish up.
Yeah. Briefly indeed. I'll finish it up. And like I said before in the beginning of when I started my sermon, I said that this doesn't. I'm not necessarily saying you guys in this room, but I'm saying the Xbox in the consensus because I knew what you were going to come with. I read your mind lie. I knew what you were going to come with, but. And the same thing for me. You guys are saying about backwards compatibility. Gamers are excited. I'm not excited, but I didn't sit there and say, "Well, that's not me," because I know you're talking about the whole consensus of what you see PlayStation or or PlayStation gamers say. Right. So it's not that shouldn't be. I don't even know why you interrupted me with that shit. I mean, if it's not you, it's not you. But you know, you've seen people say that, and that's why you say it wasn't me.
Of course, I've seen all kinds of people say crazy.
Right. I'm just saying that's. What trips me out. It's just like it's more for a lot of Xbox gamers. It's more about just the battle than the actual games, and that's what dug this hole that the Xbox is in now. It's more about the battle. I mean, everything Microsoft does. I mean, they people thought that Game Pass was the first service of games available for gamers. They were all PlayStation don't got this. I'm like, damn, PlayStation got more downloadable games at a better rate. At the same rate, and had better reviewed games on it with 900 games, and all of a sudden one is better than the other because reasons, right? And it's like the argument is dumb. I think we should be more focused on having the best games possible for whatever console. That's what the true argument should be. We're too busy arguing amongst each other about shit that a company is doing. Oh, Xbox sold this much, PlayStation sold that much. Give a damn about how much PlayStation sold. We should be worried about what we're getting. Huh?
I'm the one who brings up the sales constantly.
When? What sale did I say that said it wouldn't matter?
Yeah, bring up the Xbox sale.
You bring up sales all the time.
What sale did I bring up? What the Nintendo Switch sales?
He didn't bring up sales. Listen, I totally get your point. It's valid. It's valid to a degree. Listen, but I respect it. I respect your point. I respect your point of view because not everything that you said within there was wrong. I myself personally agree with some of the things that you say. The only caveat that I have, and I'm going to ask this last question to you, but don't need any more interference so we get the hell out of here, is this. What if you have a backlog and you see Xbox gamers having games enhanced with HDR to 4K that's running at 60 to 120 frames per second, and those gamers haven't had a chance to play those old backlog games, and then you have your PlayStation, and PlayStation gamers have backlogs too that they haven't hit, like maybe the game like a Witcher or anything, and PlayStation doesn't give you any type of true enhancements. Because I mean, come on now, I love Twisted Metal, but Twisted Metal Black looked like ass. It didn't have any enhancements. So you're trying to tell me that PlayStation fans overall will still be satisfied with having older games that doesn't have any enhancements when they know that the competition will?
Who's saying that they won't have any enhancements? I think
not
Microsoft,
no enhancements like what the competition is giving. Not
well,
like
how
that.
do we know that? Well, like I said, I think Microsoft likes to push things that are basic to backwards compatibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, just based on the power alone, these games will run better. You know what I'm saying? And Sony.
Nah.
Huh?
If
No,
you know this has been, that is not true.
No, let me help you out. Let me help you with that.
Go ahead.
Let me help you with the HDR. I laughed inside deeply when I saw that.
You laughed?
Yeah, hell yeah, I did, because I'm playing Zelda right now in HDR. Like, they're gonna implement HDR in the fake way, not the real way. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're gonna make it like your TV can do it for you, like just like how they did with 4K in the Xbox One X. And say, oh, it's 4K compatible. It upscales to 4K. Your TV upscales your shit to 4K automatically. They like to.
If the people have true HDR.
I'm
4K.
laughing at all these ways they sell. It's like hilarious. No. These games won't have true HDR if they weren't built with. It's going to be fake HDR for sure.
It's going to be like the PlayStation Slim HDR probably.
It's going to be fake HDR for sure. So it's for sure.
Wow.
For sure. Do you know how much rebuilding you're gonna have to do otherwise? Like they said that the developer won't have to do anything.
I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Halo 3. I'm sorry about that. I just clicked my mute by accident real quick. Halo 3, right? HDR, it had the old type of HDR, not the HDR as we know it today. Like HDR as they do in, photography.
Come on, hurry up.
No, real quick.
Real quick.
Hurry up.
What they do, they switch it up to real HDR. That's what's gonna happen again this generation.
It's not gonna be real HDR, man.
It's
not.
Real HDR.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, we can leave it. We can leave it at there. We can leave it at there. I do appreciate our guests for coming on. I do appreciate our guests coming on, man. You know what I'm saying? You can come on anytime, man. Just hit me up. Same. I'm pretty sure it's the same. You hit me up about going over there. I have a field day. I enjoyed the banter.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. So anyway, man, where can they find you at for people that's coming in and tuned in later? Let us know.
Roundtable Podcast has its own channel. You can check that out. You can check out King Thrash Gaming, where I have the Roundtable as well sometimes. And you can catch me on Do What You Do 6 on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. And I like to say, I got respect for all y'all. On me, I do. I watch all y'all. Live Wires, I watch you. You went back and forth plenty of times. 100, nigga, I was in the Xbox chat with you before, my nigga. So don't even play me like that. You already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a gamer. I know a lot of niggas think that I'm a pony or whatever. I don't care, bro. Like honestly, I'm a gamer through and through. I prefer PlayStation, and if that makes me a pony, then I guess so. I don't know. I don't label myself that shit. But at the end of the day, I watch all type of shit, and I respect gamers for being gamers. I just want gaming to get better as a community. That's all it is.
No doubt, man. Go support, especially if you are a true diehard PlayStation fan. I mean, he's going to rep for you, so ain't no doubt about it, man. Like I said, I'm glad that you came on. Anyway, let's get on out of here. Races up. Thank you for coming on. I know you didn't get to talk that much. You know what I'm saying? I kind of knew that it was going to be kind of like a more of a round table situation. So
Tomorrow, no bother.
yeah. But what's up, man? Where can everybody find you at, brother?
You can catch me on Twitter, Operation Oppo, and of course here every Friday and on Smash Podcast every Saturday night.
Nice. Bloody, are you still there? No, he's probably gone. Slayer.
Yeah, you've been going for a while.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter the same way. You can find me right here every Friday on GRG, and you can find me on every platform where games is played, except for the Switch for now.
Nice. All right. PK, where can they find you at, brother?
You can find me here every Friday on GRG and on Twitter at PKX Live.
All right. Nice. Livewire, where can they find you at, brother?
Twitter. I'll be on there sometimes. My channel, I push it up sometimes.
All right. Yeah. Speaking of that, I need to put out a little bit more content on my channel. I think I'll probably show me and Don playing Streets of Rage 4.
That Shaolin versus Wu-Tang did pretty well.
Bro, I told
I was surprised.
y'all. I told y'all.
Still waiting for that Tekken fade though.
I told you Saturday. I didn't hear nothing from you. I was like, Saturday.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, you did. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. Your boy Black Frost. He was right there because he was on his post. And I was like, bro, Saturday, let's go. So anyway,
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it tomorrow. Tomorrow during the day. I'm with it.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
cool.
Sure.
Hit me up. I'll turn on the PlayStation 4, man, and I ain't even gonna.
No, I got it on Xbox, so you can be comfortable. I have it on both systems.
No. It doesn't matter. We can switch. Hell, I got it on PC. I got Tekken on everything. So shit.
Oh, okay.
So it don't matter.
Okay.
It don't matter. Tekken is life for me.
Right.
Anyway,
me too.
Nice. I see 108 pop back in, man. He's on his sick humor. What's going on, man? You want to give your sign outs, brother? Oh, no, I guess not. All right, cool. It's thank you for hanging out with us, man. I do want to say this before we go. Anybody who has not yet played MK11 Aftermath, you're missing out. Immensely missing out. That story is epic. It's short, but I was over here just wanting to try to record a little bit of gameplay or something. And I caught myself playing it to the time I started until I finished. I'm finna play it again. I'm finna stream it this time. That shit was amazing. They have set the standard, the bar of how to do story campaigns for fighters. I hope a whole bunch of these fighters I'm talking to Banco Namco about take notice, because that shit was like a movie.
Yeah, Street Fighter.
Yeah,
Street Fighter has he can do so much more.
Street Fighter has a fantastic cast of characters with lore.
Why they just be shitting the bed when
but Street Fighter 5 is absolutely is ass juice. The mechanics.
Yeah, but they never.
The mechanics is really good, but other than that, no. But no,
that story need to be better.
Yeah. They didn't. They're gonna add some more characters to it, but But Tekken was decent, but Tekken got epic at the end, and I want to see more stuff of what we've seen with Tekken 7 at the end, all the way through their story mode.
Take
Let's get out of here. All right.
Take too long. Come on now.
I know. I'm doing my sermon. Everybody have a good one, please. We still have a pandemic. Do not forget. Black lives fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the family out there. I grieve. You have no idea how much I grieve for Floyd, man, for Mr. Floyd. That made me feel some kind of way. We got to do better in this country, man. We got to do better in the United States about how we treat people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that there's a lot of people that's not of color that's standing up and that's representing, because it's one of those things. To me, it's been long overdue. We need better. We need justice. We need people. We need all 4 of those cops to go to prison, and go to prison for a very long time. We don't need they're supposed to protect and serve, not murder. So anyway, everybody have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, thanks for checking out the GRG podcast. All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, and 6:30 Pacific. This was the GRG podcast.